They played the Rubik and the Bounty. I mean, these VP obviously did their homework. They knew what was going up against them from IG. Burning had a great performance on the Rubik, and Q's Bounty Hunter is probably one of their strong things. Same thing, going for that kind of lane dominance.
Decided?
The Rubik, maybe not so much lane dominance, but it's an aggressive hero that can kind of, make things happen with very little.
Radiant team's turn to
They are
pick.
quite intimidating, and it does look like that Shadow Demon you were talking about immediately pops up fogged.
Yep.
What makes it so scary in the hands of VP?
I mean, Solo just knows the ins and outs of the hero. He plays it incredibly well. He completely ignores Shadow Poison, even gets stats instead of it sometimes, just gets the
10
disruption,
seconds
soul capture.
remaining.
It's super powerful. It scales very hard into the laning game. And maybe just, it lets him,
5
it
seconds
has like
remaining.
those, that kind of thing with like, the disruption is either aggressive or defensive. It gives you multiple different ways to play it.
Reserve time.
Yeah, IG Vitality then picking up the Luna, so kind of denying it, but at the
Yeah.
same time, it's still going to be strong if Virtus Pro can copy that. So it's a tough one to go up against. It does make sure that IG has a bit more pressure behind
Dire
their
team
lineup,
ban.
but we already knew that they wanted to have that kind of pressure anyway. At least we already expected it. Oh, and this is the slaughter.
There's the slaughter.
Nine Pasha plays it, but Lil as well. Very open, very versatile, very strong.
And seeing Luna picked by IG, interestingly enough, Luna
10
and
seconds
Shadow
remaining.
Demon were picked 17 times in the group stage, and Luna itself had
5 seconds
70%
remaining.
win rate in the group stage with that particular hero. So do keep your eyes on that. And Batrider as well, another common
Reserve
presence in
time.
the draft.
Yeah.
Just gives you both these give you a heavy laning presence and just a great mid game. So that's like pretty much what they're going for here. So they're they recognize what they really need to be doing in this game versus VP.
I mean, admittedly, aren't they usually paired together, Luna and Shadow Demon? Now they've been on either sides of the battlefield.
Yeah.
You see that one?
Get to see that one indeed, and so far
Radiant
both of the
team's turn
openings
to
don't really
ban.
give too much away about what the teams are going for, or at least not really anything like out of the ordinary. It's kind of straight to the point, very straightforward here. So I'm curious to see what we're gonna see
Dire
from the
team ban.
offlaners most of all. As for in July, he has already got the Batrider secured. But how does Batrider pair up against Shadow Demon lane? Do you want to go for the Shadow Demon +1 and go that up against the Batrider,
10
or are you going to
seconds
rotate
remaining.
and have the Slardar against the Batrider if he's for 9 Pasha?
Shadow Demon
5
can zone pretty
seconds
decently with
remaining.
one other hero. Obviously, you have if the Batrider plays over aggressive, you just get disrupted, and you don't know if another hero is just going to rotate and kill you.
Reserve
So that's always
time.
the kind of hard thing about playing the Batrider versus Shadow Demon. And of course, into later stages, if someone gets lassoed, you're always able to disrupt.
Yeah.
And I mean, what's so interesting, and I think needs to be reiterated here, is that Batrider has, he's been hit by the nerf bat on multiple occasions, right? Like, he's undergone so many changes, and he's still present in the draft. He's just so intimidating.
That's what Blitz was saying. We were talking about this with the DC coach,
Oh yeah.
William Blitz Lee, and
Wow.
he said that you need to change the hero fundamentally to really remove him, because everything that he does is so good.
Right.
So you need to change him a lot for him to not be like a god tier pick.
He's just frustrating as
team
well.
ban.
If you get sticky on you, you just can't turn around. That could tilt you.
Yeah, that can tilt you.
But we already know that they can be prone to tilting on the IG side, so it's probably a good job that they've got Batrider, of course. That was according to Sakata, or him personally can tilt.
He seemed pretty confident.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
chill.
10
man.
seconds
They
remaining.
ban out the Weaver, they ban out the Sniper. Both of them obviously make a lot of sense versus VP's
5
lineup,
seconds
or
remaining.
versus VP, just because they even pick Sniper in very random scenarios. And it's not really versus an OD or anything.
Reserve time.
I know that
So
guy.
that's cool. You know that guy? Cool.
Yeah, it was Suns fan. It was a picture of Suns fan. I know that guy.
They still ban out the Juggernaut, even though Paparazzi will probably play the Luna, but Sakata has played a couple of games with Jagger as well, so want to avoid that in the mid lane. Does it give anything away about what they're going for mid?
Dire
Because
team's
basically
turn
they're
to
banning
pick.
out two heroes that they don't want to go up against mid. I'm thinking a Dragonite. No one's Dragonite is very strong. It's
They
probably
they
the
used
one-
it a lot in
Yep.
the qualifying.
Yeah.
They were happy with it. Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
they-
the Weaver ban makes sense from IG, because God knows you don't want to give that to VP, but
Yeah, I think
10
that's a really
seconds
good point.
remaining.
Point out that the DK, VP isn't usually that afraid anyway. No one
5
actually just
seconds
kind of plays
remaining.
Virginia, but giving him the best game is definitely the opportune thing. So looking at VP's lineup, the things that stand out to me at least
You're
is they're
using
probably
up
going to go for
your
their
reserve
Darkseer, their Dragon Knight, get the mech timing, have probably the support Slardar. Still not obviously put out there, but
Sure.
that's what their comfort is for the most part that they like to do.
it's early for pro players. It's early morning. Take it nice and easy. Get a nice
Absolutely.
straightforward lineup. You don't want to do anything too crazy. This is early in the day. They need a good few hours to warm up.
Well, while they are thinking about it, I do want to kind of regurgitate some information regarding VP. And they came in with this kind of hyper-aggressive tag attached to them. You've seen them play the group stage. Admittedly, it was quite brief, considering how quickly they glided through it.
Radiant
But
team's turn to
did we
pick.
still see them? Do they still deserve this hyper-aggressive tag, or have they got more diversity to their game now? I mean, surely they
Dire
don't just have
team's
one
turn to
playstyle
pick.
fog.
No, I mean they've recognized like a lot of what they've like what their old mistakes used to be. They always pick like this lineup that's very good in the laning phase. Maybe not like super strong lane phase, but strong, like pretty strong in the laning phase. Very good mid game, very good late game.
10
Always
seconds remaining.
making sure that they have like a different types of damage instances, making sure they can take objectives very easily, high damage burst as well. Like Shadow Demon
Radiant
Slaughter
team's turn
opens
to
up a
pick.
lot for yourself. Obviously with Amplify and Soul Catcher, any hero can get bursted down.
Right. I'm actually very intrigued that Lifestealer has been picked here. Out of the 12 games he was picked in the group stage, he won 4 of them. One of the least successful picks we saw in the group stage.
What were those 4 wins when
10
they were on
seconds
Virtus Pro?
remaining.
Probably a good question to ask.
Ramsey's Lifestealer is something to
5 seconds
definitely fear,
remaining.
and when it's paired up with the Slardar as well, it's a whole nother monster. So,
Yeah,
yeah,
I
they go for
really
the
love
Dire
the
monster.
Tree
Team's
of
turn to
Protection.
ban.
That is the savior of lanes. I think we talked about it a little bit on a panel during the group stages where Dream Protector was picked, and it kind of removes the aspect of single outplay, or at least doesn't really remove it, but it makes it a lot more difficult for
10
a
seconds
player
remaining.
to get a single kill on someone that, you know, by purely outplaying them. It requires
5
more of
seconds
the
remaining.
rotation coming out from the teams, and it helps them just keep the lanes more stable, which we have been
Reserve
talking
time.
about is very important for IG
Yeah.
Vitality this game. And
Complexity put it to good use.
that
didn't it?
was it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it did.
yeah.
I think it's, you know, they
Radiant
picked it,
team
but, you know,
ban.
VP picks the Darkseer. Obviously, Iron Shell very good at removing the tree refractions and able to, like, it's a hero that forces your team to group up with the Darkseer. So you want to group up and you want to take a tower in one push. So it's kind of it's a very good hero in most stages versus the Tree Protector.
Do you think VP are maybe
10
lacking
seconds
some push
remaining.
rate here?
I think the DK was the one that stood out for me like super heavily. I would be very surprised
5
if they didn't pick
seconds
it.
remaining.
Fits their lineup perfectly. It gives them more lockdown, which they kind of lack right now. It's just the Slardar pretty much there, and that's just
Reserve
VP,
time.
right? That's
Yeah.
it fits everything that they really need.
Yeah. a lot of melee though, if they go down that road. I guess
It
you've
is a
got
lot
the,
of melee.
The range form with the dragon is fine, but that is a 4 melee hero. There
Whoa,
it is.
that was quick. as
Yeah,
well.
VP
Dire team's
that's
turn
like,
to pick.
I mean, this is cookie cutter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
VP for the most part. I thought maybe they might get the Lifestealer 4th and the Darkseer 3rd, but they just kind of left it a little bit more open-ended. They probably thought that Pasha, you know, leaving the Slardar to kind of have an option of either being support or off lane, letting it be more ambiguous was
10
a better
seconds
choice by them.
remaining.
But yeah, they-
Timbersaw is in the pool, isn't he?
Yes.
I'm wondering if they could take that and maybe run
5
in mid
seconds
or
remaining.
push him to the offlane and put the bat mid maybe.
They could
It
definitely
would be
do
pretty
that.
good Timber in this
Reserve
game.
time.
The last pick.
We'll see what runs against the Dragonite that is really, really good against the Dragonite. I mean, Dragonite is not going to really lose his lane regardless, but what could do well? Punked.
That was Mamamoo, wasn't it?
That was Mamamoo.
That was Mamamoo and Papa
Papa
Moo.
Moo.
Yeah, I mean Timber looks pretty decent. I don't remember actually if Sakata plays it that much though, right? I know
He's
Paparazzi's
played,
played it a few times.
A lot of Queen of Pain, Templar Assassin, Shadow Fiend, Evoker OD.
10
Please
seconds
not Queen of
remaining.
Pain.
It's a good job Winter's not.
Okay, yeah, they do go for
It
the
is the Timber.
Yeah.
There
It's
you
very
go.
good versus all.
Then IG going
Who
up
could turn
against
away from
a
this
very
battle?
scary Virtus Pro, but
Yeah.
the draft hasn't completely changed your mind. No.
No.
just clarifying. All right, well, we'll leave it there for us here at the desk because our casters are ready. We're going to let them talk it through. On the menu tonight for your casting dish, it's none other than Toby and Merlini. I call them Tobini.
Well, I know we're a bunch of dishes, but Tobini, I don't know if I really want to have that one.
You can quit a new one. Well, we've got a happy crowd behind us.
That we do. It's a wonderful early morning to start a great day of Dota. Virtus Pro going up against IG Vitality. I know a lot of people are looking at VP
10
to be
seconds
the number one
remaining.
team, even to win the entire major.
This is the best we
Prepare
expected
for
to
battle.
face up against. I think they'll be fine.
Yeah, I was actually wondering like how the draft would unfold. She was calling it perfectly that we'll look to see like the DK coming in from VP for that mid lane play. I was waiting for the Lifestealer as well. This is VP in a nutshell. Nothing changes. Nothing is different. And IGV, Fog was asking for really strong lanes, and it appears through that
they're
draft
back.
they've actually got that. Tree Protector always going to be there to lend that lending hand or living armor.
And the Witch Doctor and Timbersaw. It's very, very good versus this 3 strength 4 melee lineup that they're running.
You were wondering, though, if there was going to be enough magical damage. I know we're talking about this during the drafting phase. Does IGV have enough of that? Does the Timbersaw actually help provide enough of that burst that VP should be at least
30
more
seconds
focused
to
on
battle.
killing the Timber?
Definitely. I saw some strange bans, though. I think they banned out Ember.
Yeah, Ember was the final ban.
Like, I don't think I've seen that hero in a long time.
No, it would have been a very odd lane as well. But maybe they're just wondering, like, what would be a bit of a problem matchup. That is the upside about the lineup for IGV. The fact that Batrider, there's no, like, sleight of fist steering change, which would have, like, messed around with him at all. So we can actually initiate properly on almost every single core. The SD, not as great a counter as he used to be up against the Batrider just because of the range.
And looking at Ramsey's items, I wonder what's going on through his mind. He only started off with 2 tangos, and perhaps wondering if he needs to Iron Talon at the start, maybe get some boots.
He's going to head down to bottom lane, and IG actually do what they're doing, which is the Iron Talon abandoning Batrider. He's gone straight into the Dire jungle. Like, can you rush up something else? If you're only going to have the tangos, can you go for maybe even that early hand of Minus and get a big injection into the mid game?
I think he'd rather probably get an armlet very, very early on. And Lil, they don't have an Ogre. That was first ban, but he's kind of playing like one.
This is the way all the CIS teams love playing their Slaughter. Normally it's actually done in combination with the Iron Shell of Pasha, but you kind of need to get him up to level 3 to have that level 2 before it becomes really effective. So both of the off lanes very absent from heroes, the VP and IGV. They're both attached to neutral camps for the moment.
And it looks like Treant Protector is going to head down to the bottom lane. I was wondering what Q was going to do on that. Sometimes we see the level 1 Nature's guys so that he can go for a chicken snipe, but looks like he just wants to soak out some experience.
Well, as long as he doesn't get caught out. With the rotation of Solo as well as Lil, you can find Q hovering around that bottom rune area. Not the easiest kill in the world. Just because he's just innately tanky. And with Leech Seed, it's a very difficult kill as well. This will be a very passive early start to the game until everyone starts to build into their primary items. The only lane which you can potentially see some big pop kills is this combo we've seen multiple times during the group stage, and that's the Timber versus the Dragon Knight. But normally you wait until that level 6 on the Timber once you bring in the Chakram.
Yeah, the Timber doesn't have a Quelling Blade, so he's actually losing out a little bit in the CS department. Just a little bit behind, but very difficult versus the Bleed Fire. In the bottom lane, this wave is pushed up all the way to the tower because IG Vitality have a very nice sentry ward that blocks a big camp. And VP expended a ward already, unable to de-ward, and Q will get some free XP. Much needed.
Actually really nice for Q to get so much of this. It may have been a little bit nicer for the Batrider to pick that up, but in July, okay, now he's going to TP down the bottom. Ramses opens up, now with Rage of cooldown just a little bit of a second. In July can harass Ramses down, but Zolo is there, so with the defensive disruption, he'll keep In July back. But IGV keep their tower alive, and VP understand that chipping away at a T1 tower when you're going up against the Treant Protector doesn't make a lot of sense, but this does if they can actually attack into the Luna. Burning, better stand by. IGV, really strong lanes. We called it before. It's just this Treant as well as Witch Doctor. They make sure IGV will survive.
And they're able to keep tabs on the Slaughter. Slaughter is... he's not the most tanky hero if he's around sprinting, so they can't tower dive too much. Need to wait for more items on the lifestealer. And he's not getting absolute free farm on the bottom lane.
Lil's hoping for something, but he's not going to get it at the moment. This actually has to be one of the most passive starts the VP have been forced into in this entire tournament so far. They've always been looking for kills, always been looking for that hunt, that level of aggression, but their lineup is just a little bit slower than that. So it's a lot more patience we're seeing out from Virtus Pro.
And Injuly is able to free farm wherever he wants. 4.5 on the Batrider, just constantly stacking.
And everything else just becomes a contest. That top little pool camp.
I don't really see any signs of VP trying to turn up the pressure anytime soon.
Well, they can wait, right? Like, until Lifesteal is level 6, doesn't even have a combo here. You've got the sprint that comes out from the Slaughter. Potentially with Surge from Darkseer, that initiation range is going to get better for Virtus Pro. But who do you initiate on? You still want to initiate into a Leech Seed, the troublesome Q, who got a lot of levels from the bottom lane, so having overgrowth is also a problem in Q. So that's doing a nice little job. The crush will come from Lil, but with the Leech Seed already out burning, no reason for the Paralyzing Cast Count just yet, but with Pasha moving over, this might be a better reason. Into line, rotate these two, they go for another crush. Q is low, but the damage on the Lil is so high, the living armor won't protect him. Lil will get the bash in the first blood, loses his life to burning. But a kill is a kill. VP get something on the board. ITV something
Dire's
straight back.
bottom tower is being chipped
He
away.
all in for that in.
Dire's smoke fortified their structures.
If they wait too long, then Batrider's just going to get his Blink Dagger, smoke up, get a free,
Dire's
get
bottom
a
tower
couple of
needs some
easy
help.
kills. They don't have the best supports to deal with the Batrider. Shadow Demon's like all right, I would say. Just not the best range on that disruption to save people. But as you mentioned before, who do they really gank? Top has Witchstalker defending, and then all the lanes have Tree and Protector defending.
It seemed to make more sense to go on that little insurgent mission with Lil. Like maybe you catch the Batrider when he's low doing that stack, because that's
Radiant's
exactly
top
what In
tower
July
is
was
under
doing.
attack.
He was doing the big stacks he had inside the jungle, but had to be pulled off to come over. So he only loses out in 2 skeleton minions. That's all he lost because of his movement. And he still gets the experience levels from killing off the Slaughter or being involved in that.
In the bottom lane, Q spots out Lil, trying to wrap around from behind. But the Blightstone, this tower should fall shortly, if not for the help of the Living Armor.
Maybe they actually bring in more support too to hold this tier 1 tower until they bring detection. They actually cannot kill off Q. You'll always have that Nature's Guide to dive back into. So he's got to pull Ramses off the tower. Ramses, whenever he plays his Lifestealer, loves just to rage, have a TP scroll if he needs to get back out again, but he'll rage to protect and just beat the tower down. But Q will hold this. He just needs a little bit of help.
Need to buy a little bit more time for the Batrider. And Luna, top of the CS charts right now. Pretty decent lead over everyone else. And in the mid lane, Timbersaw is slightly behind the Dragon Knight.
It's going to be our first soul
Radiant's top
smoke of the
tower
game,
deserves
burning it in
just as much
July.
help as
So in
bottom.
July, he did spend all of his money, didn't go directly in for a Blink Dagger, and so he's got those Tranquils, Raindrops, plus the Wind Lace for the movement speed. So trying to close the distance, and they're pinging out. I don't know if they actually want to head to the top, or if it is their goal. No one will be the nicer gank to have, because this will get Sakatara a little bit in front, and Shaka slows him down. Now the power has a chance. It's quick stun, allowing for the lasso, with the other points from Maldic as well. Dragon has been dragged back in through the fire. Need a little bit more damage now. No one will definitely pop. IGV with successful smoke rotation. Kills off the VP mid.
That was a great angle for them to gank from. They came from the left side, and then Timbersaw covered his retreat path to the right so that he could get slowed down to the point. And this is the smart play, a big play from the Batrider to actually not straight farm for them. They'd expect maybe a timing around 9.5 minutes, I would say, at this pace for like a blink smoke. So he thought he had a couple more minutes to farm, and that's a very difficult game to predict.
Dire's
So
bottom
IGV
tower is being
ahead of
chipped
the board.
away.
They're actually fairly ahead in CS too. One big thing is the fact that Paparazzi's got so much space on the top. He's managed to already crack that 60 CS mark, so he can get that 400 net worth in front of the Lifestealer. Mid lane gank is on. SD is all there. Even the Darks here committing that wall. So they want to use on tower.
And you can see the effectiveness of Solo's kind of patented build, his Max Soul Killer build with no Shadow Demon. That's kind of the thing to go to for most Shadow Demons now, but the Timbersaw just dropped. There's no chance of a TV reaction, even with Living Armor. He's not going to survive.
We're going back into stall, however. There's no sentry ward, there's no detection again on Burning Pro. This allows Q to really walk up wherever he wants to. So Burning the creep wave back. Now they TP the Timber back into the... So all damage you normally get from an EK, which would be capitalized on in a couple of minutes time, it doesn't happen. Q's already got 3 points up in Living Armor. In July might be in a little bit of trouble with the open wounds on him, but Ramses, that rage won't last long enough. And with the Firefly down, he cannot pursue In July into the trees.
And VP just don't know where to attack right now. Mid tower is still very healthy. Bottom tower was at a 3rd HP, but now it's healed back up by the Living Armor, and they're just buying so much time. VP, this is the time where they attack all the lanes, get a couple of kills, and start to get their Blink Daggers and just keep the train rolling. But there is just nowhere for them to go, except for farm, and they don't want to farm.
You got to give props to IGV. They've read VP's timing perfectly. They understand how to counter against it. Farm up a huge core. It's going to be a very big Luna going into the mid game. Burning's still getting levels for himself too. The fact
Dire's
is Tree was able to get
bottom
so
tower
many
is
early
under
levels.
attack.
That Living Armor, maybe this little chip push the VP was running was going to be more successful because they're chipping away at the tier 1 with the Lifestealer, the DK into the mid. Like all this is working nicely, but 3 points up in Living Armor is just so damn efficient.
They just have to limit the Slaughter's timing. They don't really have a good place for the Lifestealer to infest. Like, they can't really get quick picks like they want until he gets his Blink Dagger, but he's sitting at 300 gold right now, and with no towers coming anytime soon, and with In July getting free farm, it might be a tough task.
Everyone's going to moonwalk for just a moment. We'll pause up and get a little bit more stable. Because we can always just laugh it off. But yeah, Q, maybe once that armor is there for Ramses, he can force the issue a lot harder. Force rotations out from IGV, because right now it feels like IGV are committing only just the bare minimum to hold the lane, to drag the lane back.
I think overall, though, this is going much better for IG Vitality. VP maybe not expecting such a staunch early game from IG.
That's a support player right there, everybody. That's Bernie.
With this set,
It's a very, very nice set. Crafted in gold. Hi, everybody.
we're admiring the models.
Yeah, that's what it's like. Got mood lighting down here in the theater. It's a beautiful theater as well. The atmosphere is nice to actually bring a Valve Major back into a theater environment after Benaroya Hall. Mm-hmm. It's a beautiful.
Cozy.
It is. It really is. It's a lot more intimate.
Yeah, I can almost touch crowd.
Almost. They're just there. They're just there. But man, like this game is a lot closer. Like when I woke up this morning, I'm like, okay, VP versus IGV. I'm not expecting it to be as close after IGV's performance during the group stage, but they really seem to have, in the last 2 days, because each team had a 2-day break coming into this, maybe even a little bit more if you played in the Group A. They've taken their time, they've looked at VP, and VP did exactly what we were expecting for them in the draft, and IGV, at least they've got their drafted position to help them win here.
But that's the thing about VP's draft. All 5 of their heroes you could have probably easily predicted, especially with the bans coming out and the first phase Luna from IG Vitality. And there's a couple differing theories on the draft. One is like pick if you win, just keep picking the same thing until someone breaks you, or just change it up every game so they never know what's coming. So it's kind of like Wing's philosophy versus VP's philosophy, and VP have yet to really be tested, especially in the group stage where they just steamrolled everyone. But I would say this Treant Protector pick is causing a lot of difficulties for VP, and it's just slowing them down a lot. Even faring over a Dust or a Sentry Wars can stall precious seconds. And all these towers still alive is a big problem.
And wasn't it Lil who said during an interview over at the summit the fact like if they have to change up, like if someone does force them into a different position, like they would only have to reveal maybe 10% of their strats in order to get back on top. So we're back into the game now, so everything is smooth for the players.
Dire's bottom tower is
And we
under
continue
attack.
this battle. Where we left off,
Radiant's top
VP
tower
was trying to bring down the
deserves
tier
just
1
as
tower
much
and
help
bottom
as
lane.
bottom.
IGV are in a good position to trade, so they're now pushing the tier 1 tower
Radiant's
with the
structures
regeneration of
snow
burning,
fortified.
that little
Radiant's top
babysitting of in
tower
July,
has
and the
looked
damage
better.
that comes in from a Luna. It's a straight tier 1 to
Dire's
tier 1
bottom
tower
tower
trade-off.
has
So
shattered
eventually it
to
was going to
pieces.
happen, but IGV managed to stall out long enough and get themselves a good
Radiant's
trade-off.
top tower has fallen.
And bringing up the items, I see that IG Vitality have heavily committed to raindrops. They have 4 raindrops on their side right now, and only 1 on the side of VP. So they just do not want to. Look, there hasn't been any fights really, so it's like, do you expect to be able to farm, or do you want to actually fight a lot? And judging by this and this smoke,
Yeah.
they are ready to get some kills.
That smoke happened right underneath the Radiant Observer Ward, so Virtus Pro are very aware what IGV are doing. It was a ward that was placed down a long time ago by Solo.
Yep.
So all they wait for is the mid gank. So even if the smoke's going to fail, you want no one to reveal himself. You want someone to show themselves because you just move around and run this with this Luna that has straight pressure, tier 1 to tier
I guess
1. And you
Radiant
can't jump
fortified their
VP
structures.
before they're willing to defend. The Dragon Knight form was already triggered. You do not have this. So instead, it's going to have to be Lil climbing up, and yeah, here comes VP. Coming in for Solo. Can't get a disruption off, was moving to the front lines to try it. As an all VP get is the amplification over on the Batrider.
They're also struggling for one of their ultimate. Shadow Demon is the only hero in this game that does not have his level 6.
Dire's bottom tower is
I'm
being
not
chipped
certain
away.
if IGV, with one person up the hill, they would have seen that smoke. So IGV now disappear into the trees, quite literally with the Treant Protector. And
However,
as VP, who are now going to attack, they're going to attack into IGV.
there is very little way they can push into this. And nope, blink daggers on either side. So daytime means very little chance of actually getting a kill. But now that nighttime has descended upon us, might be time for them to make some more aggressive maneuvers. Now the DK has to be very, very scared when farming his jungle. They don't really have great vision on
Radiant's
that
top
bottom side of the
tower is
map,
under
which would be a
attack.
great attacking angle for Vitality to come from. Shadow Demon kind of sitting behind.
Have we really turned this into 5-man Dota? Paparazzi was able to find a double damage rune in the bot river, so farming up the quick. There was just a 1 ancient stack for him.
I think this definitely favors Vitality. They have a much better team fight. And VP, what other heroes are good at team fight? Just the Darkseer, really. I'm looking at the other 4, and they have a fair amount of damage, but a lot of it single target.
And until you get the blink daggers, is it really that effective?
Yeah, they need maybe a big vacuum crush, but that's pretty
Not
hard
much
to
good's
pull
happening
off
to
in
Radiant's
this.
bottom tower.
And the Lifestealer is always going to be hindered by the Twin Protector. And of course, they have to worry about the magic damage output from the Luna and the Timbersaw before any BKBs come out.
So I said, VP just turned this into
beating
just a
on
little
Dire's
bit more of a
top tower.
split game again. So the tier 1 tower on the top lane is being harassed
Looks
down
like
with the Dragon
Dire
Knight trigger against
fortified
4.
structures.
Wants this kill because this will allow
Radiant's
no one to
bottom
finish up his
tower's got
armor.
problems.
But IGV, again we go
Are those
into it. A
cracks
1-for-1
in
trade,
Dire's
tit for
top
tat.
tower?
It'll be the
doing
tier
it.
1 tower that IGV want in the mid.
They're doing a 3-man smoke though, and they're leaving the
They're
DK
beating
up
on
on top,
Dire's
so
top tower.
IG Vitality may be a little bit wary.
He has the TP scroll available, so this could still be a
Radiant's
fight.
middle
The tier
tower
1
has
tower's already
fallen.
taken an IGV. Now heading to the
Dire's
south.
top tower is under
They're
attack.
pinging them out, but IG Vitality are sticking together as a ball, and
Dire's
most of
top
them
tower
are
has
stacked
fallen.
behind the Luna just in case one of them gets caught out. They have a ward to drop their tracks behind. Will it pop the smoke? Yes,
Yes.
it will.
So Lil gets revealed.
Radiant's bottom tower's
He's
got
only just close
problems.
enough to do that too.
And IG Vitality head straight back to mid. They don't want to lose a tower.
Well, they're becoming a lot more confident to fight now. Luna's just completed up a
Dire's
mana
middle
style,
tower
flying
isn't
out with a
going to
level
last
2
long.
ultimate from her. You can still get in close thanks to Nature's Guys. The detection being that close to your own tower not really possible. They know there's a sentry ward because their other one got de-warded.
It's much better for them to defend so they can heal the tower and then make a favorable trade later. This T1 tower, especially important for them because Luna wants to farm Ancients over and over again as much as you can.
There's so little in this game. I got a smoke maneuver from IGV, but the network's really close.
Radiant's middle tower
not
shouldn't
even
have
not
to
even
take this
100 gold in it
abuse.
at the moment.
They saw Pasha TP bottom. That will be their target, but he is surged and he is gone.
Well, even if they don't kill Pasha, the Luna's going to force the lane out. With 4 points up in Glaive, she pushes really, really quickly. And July is searching in around the tower, so they realize that no one's there to defend. They even scanned this beforehand. No one to pick off, so this
Not
is just
much
going to be a tier 1
good's
tower.
happening to Radiant's
And
bottom
Virtus Pro,
tower.
for the first time, they're not in
Radiant
position to
have
get a
fortified
counter
their
tower.
structures.
Lil's
Straight
getting a lot
away.
of things, though. Lil's just farming the top lane. He was sitting on 300, 400 gold maybe
Radiant's
just a few
bottom
minutes ago.
tower is under
But now,
attack.
closing in,
Are those
and his
cracks
blink
in
dagger
Dire's
halfway
top
there.
tower?
IG Vitality, do they want to defend this mid tower? I don't think that they're set up in
Not
position
much
to do
good's
so,
happening to
especially with that
Radiant's
observer
bottom
ward
tower.
behind
Dire
the
have
T1
fortified
tower
their
and Lil
structures.
around
They
the
see him. They see him. The sentry ward's there. Who's going to be revealed?
Radiant's bottom
A quick
tower
crush
is
and a
no
quick
more.
kill.
Dire's middle
Very
tower
deep
is under attack.
into the observer and sentry, just to the southeast of the mid tier 1. So it's a kill and a tier 1
Dire's middle
tower
tower
trade-off here from VP and IG.
Yeah, 3 of their observer wards are set up in the mid lane. And that's a lot. Just for a tree kill plus a T1 tower in the process, but Lil still kind of just away from his team, doing his own thing.
Is that team fight timing you're talking about? Just build up to it, be patient. That's all VP need to do. If you take a really bad engagement here, which is also very possible, all you do is just you feed the Luna. And then you'll have no way to deal with her.
Especially before BKBs. And I think that's the sort of game where if you're the Slardar, you kind of want to aim for a BKB going in late, or else the Timbersaw will just destroy you every time you go inside the fight. So I also think it's important for the Slardar to stay alive so you can aim multiple people. They don't have a really good way to take it off aside from the Manta on the Luna right now. So I think Lil is a very important hero in this game.
As long as he doesn't die, Lil.
Soldier's
Okay.
fortune.
Action Fake Crush. The bounty rune.
And despite all this farming, Timbersaw is actually pretty far behind. He is number 4 in net worth and has not gotten his Bloodstone yet.
Right, in July, tried to slip over bottom lane. The pings already came out. I think he's asking for another invis. Solo started his TP. Lil's on the run out. So it's Virtus Pro understanding the movements here of IGV. They don't really have that many deep wards to find IGV's movements. They see Burning stacking thanks to the Observer ward. That's right next to Sentry. That was what helped VP in the last fight. And the other one's sitting right in front of the tier 2 tower. So they don't see much more outside of the mid lane. The jungles are very, very dark for them.
But Luna's just been taking stack after stack after stack.
She's about to hit the 10,000 net worth. Nice little mark for her. Already with the Dragon Lance, already with the Mana Style. The range is good. The disengage and confusion from Manta is also good.
I think it's about time for VP to fight, though. They have the Blink Dagger on Slardar. They have a DD in No One's Bottle. And Lifestealer has his Echo Saber. Most of his items are complete, aside from perhaps the Desolator.
It's also IG's time to fight. They're getting far enough away from that Observer ward. In fact, Burning is dewarding it at the moment. That they can do something with the Blink Dagger, which is freshly onto In July.
I would say it's a fairly predictable smoke, though, because Batrider's not showing, and then they just dewarded and they're all grouped up around mid. So if they do it, I think VP will kind of expect it at this particular moment.
So what else do you try and attempt? Like, you just keep farming?
You can maybe make a Roach play, but VP already have Observer Ward in the area, and they have eyes on Burning, so
maybe even time for a gem, then get it up on the Batrider. Risky when you still want to run a Tree and Protector.
So now they see In July. He thinks he's safe with the Nature's Guides, but Tree and Protector had died there not too long ago, and with the Observer Ward Sentry combo, Blink Dagger will be revealed.
He kind of has to know. Like with the way the fight happened previously, unless I think it just timed out. Treant's walking around with a Sentry, but he's just dropped it in the bottom part of the river, so VP smoke up. They're about to cross over with that Observer Ward that is see a lot, but In July up on the cliffside, breaks it, the blind, good cross, won't work, Tree Protector, with the huge orange sidewalk inside of it, with the Eclipse Dagger, he's before, with a Darkseer, the back wall, it may be enough for Willis, it's a 1-1 straight up the Death Ward, he's doing his work, with the Batrider, it's IGV coming out on top, VP forced back. The Blink Rush needed to work. In July is not done just yet. He wants Pasha. They need to get closer. Sakata gets in behind Solo, and with the sticky napalm, he can't even turn fast enough. Paparazzi, a double kill for him. In July, kills off Pasha. It's a team wipe. The favorites Virtus Pro just lost everything to IGV.
Radiant's middle tower
That was
is under
phenomenal
attack.
positioning from the Batrider. He hit in the trees, he popped the smoke on the back
Radiant
line, and
structures are
overall the
fortified.
positioning was just great. It's up the hill on the Ancients. Then VP, they wanted to fight on the Observer Ward, but IG Vitality, they didn't make the obvious play. Like, a lot of their plays have just been not by the books. Batrider fighting way before his Blink Dagger, not even going for his Blink Dagger first, not smoking as soon as they get the Blink Dagger, and VP, they're expecting all of these things to happen, and they're getting punished when they're like, okay, I guess we should do something because things aren't playing out the way that they wanted it to.
It's spiraling out of control. The graph just plummet down. It's like right now is only a 3,500 swing for the net worth, but let's actually have a quick look at it again. So there's Lil's initiation, and Q at this point roots the entire VP lineup.
And the Eclipse comes out, and everyone is just clumped up around. They're trying to get all the illusions from the Wall of Replica, but Embersol is just so good at cleaning up in this sort of situation. And what great positioning by the Treant Protector. Dodging the Blink Crush, getting a 5-man root, and staying alive.
And judging by that camera view is steaming up in the IGV box, they are looking good. They just need to keep that momentum going. There's your graph plummet. VP need to stabilize, but IGV are definitely the ones in the
Dyer's
driver's
middle
seat.
tower isn't
They
going to
just,
last
I think,
long.
need probably 1 Force
Radiant's
Staff,
bottom
maybe a
tower's got
2, I guess,
problems.
on top of the Batriders, just so they can save someone from the Blink Crush. If they can save someone
Dyer's
from
top
that,
tower is
then
under
they can
attack.
kite the Lifestealer easily with Root,
Radiant's
and then after
bottom
that,
tower
most of the
is
damage will be
under
gone. Because Slardar is nowhere close to a BKB, and he is just going to
Something
perish. And
better
after
help
that, they
Dyer's
don't
middle
really have too much
tower.
control with the Vice. DK does not do that much damage. He's also forced to get a BKB because
Radiant's
of this
bottom
Timber Saw
tower
pick.
is
And with all of
fallen.
this, with no money
Dyer's
for
top
Monkey King
tower
Power,
is under
Paparazzi
attack.
looks even better. Just walking around with casual evasion, but once this is a butterfly, they're still in trouble, and IGV, they're knocking on the bottom door.
They're beating on
They want
Dyer's
to come
top
into the
tower.
VP base, so it took 21
Not
minutes
much
and a
good's
bit.
happening to Radiant's bottom tower.
Burning's the first one to do damage to the tower, and now they're actually TPing out. They get VP to return home.
But look at the Observer Wards that they've set up. VP and Hail is one of the best in this patch because of their ability to set up great vision. But now that they've lost fights, they've lost map control, that are losing out in the farm battle, I don't really know if they can keep up their network of vision.
Well, they're trying to. This is the reason why solo smokes. Push down 2 observer wards in the bottom river area.
Yeah, it's probably time for the Bat Rider to get a gem. Maybe if they secure the Aegis first, it's still a little bit risky to fight around the pit. I think DK is pretty good in the pit, as well as the Darkseer especially.
It seems like a risk that they just don't need to take, but it looks like in July they're going to hover around it.
They still want to fight.
You have the double damage ring on the Luna, and this may just be enough to encourage them to go in.
Yeah, but EP certainly knows up, and they certainly will not let this go for free.
No, they have to fight. Fresh item of the Desolator over on the Lifestealer. They'll have that for this fight, but they send illusions down from the SD to have a look towards the pit with the Observer Ward and the Sentries down. They're right on top of each other. AGV, they're pulling out of the pit. So VP got the information that Roshan's down to 50%.
Yeah, there's not that many blind spots for IG Vitality, but that is one of them. The northwest of the Roshan pit. And they have to wait for them to walk into that Observer Ward. If they push mid T2, I wonder how IG Vitality are going to react. Might just be time for them to work on the Roshan, but without the VD, it's not going to drop that quickly.
They're going to find Vensmark.
Yeah, he's at 50% HP, so now they're going to be scouting inside the pit with those solar illusions.
IGV's coming to fight. They're coming to fight. So it's just illusions. The body blocking of the illusions, it just pings. It just pings. Solo knew what was happening, so then they just jump forward looking for the They hit the mark! Into out the ball, stop himself away on low life. But the Luna and the Timber Sword will drop. Timber won't be down for long, thanks to Bloodstone charges. The Solo's positioning, noticing the illusion will have to pull nothing. Allow VP just to set up properly, but they're going to go for Roshan. He's down low the problems, but it's still Radiant. They get 1 the kill on Roshan and 2 pick up the Aegis. As we have ourselves a small little pause. This is actually a huge time to pause, because that Flame Break's going to push a little onto the hill.
VP is just really smart about fighting, how they took that last engagement. If SD dies, not the worst
Let the
thing in the world. It's not like he
flame
really has any
reconnect.
items.
Lil gets down just in time, so the Flame Break doesn't push anybody around.
Yeah, and Luna just got blown up so quickly. And she might need a BKB herself to deal with the vacuum wall. Her illusion is going to hurt her team a lot if she gets vacuumed into it.
Which means more time that IGV have to stop blood. So the fight was good, and with Roshan, they repair all the damage of gold as well as experience. So the game starts to level up more.
Yeah, the blink from Pasha really making the big difference in that last team fight. They need Timbersaw to be... He was up out in front. He got a decent amount of damage on a Shadow Demon, but then he backed up immediately after. They need him to provide the vision for the team fights. He needs to be the big bad bruiser in front. So, if you go on him, you're going to lose the fight. But if he retreats, then Luna's left vulnerable to these blink initiations from VP.
Which is why Luna, even if you do have a BKB, you may not get it off in time. Satanic may be the other way, just have the strength to survive, and then just, yep, that'll work. A VP, they're already prepping to fight once more. Looking down that mid lane. And they're bringing everybody. They don't have the best momentum in the side lanes. It's going the way of IGV on the top, even with a catapult behind it.
They have to be careful though. The Luna is still very, very strong. She has Butterfly. She's way ahead in networks at the moment. So can't be too reckless with this siege. And Sakata's still, very, very far back, just scared of immediately dying.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
There goes the
Dire's
tier
middle
2 tower.
just went down.
Maybe once he gets his plate mail on that Timber, he can play more aggressively. But he's just very, very scared.
Radiant's top tower.
So this is the
has
downside,
looked
right? They're
better.
going for this Yule Scepter build. You can't just get that straight Shivas, but you can still PMS and you can pick up that plate mail now.
Yeah, he's probably he wants some way to get rid of the
Just
amplify
as much
damage.
help as bottom.
But as long as he doesn't die to the initial burst, he should be fine once he builds up some stacks. And Gem has been picked up by in July, and we'll take this time to get rid of some of the VP vision. They have 3 Observer Wards around the middle. Again, I'm not sure if he's going to be able to get them all.
Kind of like a risky situation, right? You know the Slaughter could be there ready to blink on you. And they don't have vision of Lil at the moment. In fact, now with the Chakrams from Sakata, they will.
So that's 2 Observer Wards down. 2 more, a little bit away from the Roshan pit.
They didn't find the sentry. It's a little bit more covered up. Normally that wouldn't be as important, but the fact you're running a Treant Protector and they're trying to make the most out of that invis time. But now he's going to see it with the Firefly.
I'm not sure if he saw the one that Lil is standing on top of right now.
They pinged it. He got just close enough for it. But it's, again, like, it's the wrong side of the river that IGV just cannot move to unless they go in force.
And Luna, looks like signs of a BKB are coming out. Ogre Club in the stash.
Alright, so she'll go for the immunity. Fantastic thing during the fight. Already got ways to get rid of the amplification. Now, there's no extra stuns. Won't fear that Dark Seer initiation as much either.
Even more than that, there's like the disruption on her. Her illusions do a lot of damage. You don't really want to give SD free damage. Although I guess you can probably get a Manta illusion. Yeah, so it's not that big of a deal. But the Breathe Fire also limits a lot of damage because she has so much agility at the moment.
Tib is pushing in the mid, so Like, we're going to claim this tier 2 tower, IGV. There's no reason to slow this down. Like, may fortify so they can push in through the top lane and try and get a tier 2 tower of their own, but IGV are not committing to the push. They're moving back again, looking to farm, and looks like they just don't want to fight until Luna has that BKB.
Or while Lifesteal has an Aegis. Losing the gem right now would be very costly. It would set them back a good amount of time.
And they only have to wait 50 seconds, and then that Aegis is gone.
Yeah, Lifestealer does not have that much in his defense. He's going very heavy on the damage. Just really the armlet from the armor from the armlet to help him survive.
Like going Yasha as opposed to something else, like, well, Basher, or maybe more defensive for his team with the AC.
He might be going Manta. It's a common pickup on strength heroes to deal with the root from the Treant Protector. You don't want to have to use your Infest, and you can't wait for a Rage, or else you might just get lassoed without your Rage up and just die. So this way he can be more self-sufficient, and he can't rely on the Shadow Demon this game because Shadow Demon is still very poor, but he is going for the Scepter. Great way to deal with Luna in the late game. She might have to get a Hurricane Pike to not get kited in the fights later on.
Well, Aegis has now been reclaimed. It's a long Roshan spawn timer, so 2.5 out of the 3 potential minutes that both these teams will have to wait. The BKB over on Luna. IGV is in a decent position to try and look for an engagement if they wish.
They need more on the supports of IG Vitality. The Treant Protector is just bare bones and his Arcane plus
they're literally
support items.
Literally the same items right now.
Yeah, Witch Doctor Scepter is also something that you probably want to aim for in the late game. Something how the Shadow Demon is that versus this many melee heroes. It would do a lot of damage.
Well, instead, they seem to be very much focusing on the Yule Scepter build. Yeah. Unless that's going to be...
He's going for a force.
It'll be a force stop, so it's just the movement speed with the lace.
Great at kiting a DK. I guess the Lotus would actually be pretty useful. I don't know who would farm it. I guess the Timber Song, but he definitely needs the armor from the Shivas first before he can think about a Lotus. And Shadow Demon plays some wards in mid.
Well, the Luna is the only one close enough to it at the moment. The rest of IGV are being put into Nature's guise.
And they don't actually have too much protection on the Radiant side either. They could easily get caught out by a Batrider who's under Nature's guise. But I like the way they move. They're like constantly seeking to get better position. Like if IG Vitality come to them, IG Vitality are going to lose the team fight because they'll be able to either kite the Luna while she's BKB'd or pop her before her BKB is activated. And the only time that they've lost a big fight, literally the only fight that one of the only 2 fights that they've taken was on IG's terms up onto the secret shop. But now this is a little bit of a compromising position. They're on flat ground. They don't have vision behind the towers, so this could be a maneuver for Batrider to Firefly through the top side, which they're actually maybe kind of expecting it might be this positioning.
Here it comes. Ryan jumping around the back of Firefly's vision. Sees for the jump forward. He's found the real DK. No one's trying to the Eclipse still doing what the will of the BKB Luna now wears off Ramsey. One more hit to a bonus, looks at the body block. The ball cut off the cross and no one do enough. Maybe with the lucid beam, Slaughter trapped inside the base.
They're beating on
They're just
Dire's
chasing
top
him in
tower.
deeper. IGV down to just a few heroes for this VP who assault into that tier 3
Dyer's now
tower.
fortified their structures.
Lil has actually gone for a long
Dyer's
wander,
top
back past the tier 4 towers, and out through the bottom of the base. They'll rejoin the rest of the
Dyer's
teammates in
top
a
tower
bit.
is under attack.
Lotus Pro
Dyer's top tower
making the
is
most of the time
gone.
they've got.
Just
Bring down the tier 3 tower. Now into the male ranks as well. IGV, they just don't have the defense against it.
Wow, no one was so close to dying at the beginning of the fight, which would have been a completely different story. And again, they get a huge vacuum crush wall. Yeah, you gotta admire VP's ability to team fight.
Also the patience. Like, we're seeing a very different game style. Father's mentioning the fact that we've had a couple of CIS teams, Team Empire and VP, are normally the ones which go high up on the list of struggling at the Valve major events, but Virtus Pro, they're showing their depth, not just in their draft, because this is obviously not depth in their draft with what they've got here, but in their play style. They're happy to go hyper aggressive. They can play the very stalled trade-off style of gameplay.
And they also have a lot of confidence plays. Like before, it was pretty much zero net worth, which is very difficult to push into a T2 tower against a Bat Rider. And they were just confident that they'd be able to get the BKBs off and not die, and to pull off their teamfight combo. So now Darkseer is probably priority number 1, at least stopping his Blink Dagger so he doesn't get a great initiation.
That's right, difficult to do unless July. Well, he could have actually not gone on no one. But at the same time, if that works, you get no one with his BKB down. The Eclipse does solo effect damage onto a Dragon Knight, and they almost killed him with that alone. So maybe next time, like, yeah, this could actually work.
Yeah, it was really close to working. At the same time,
Okay, maybe not anymore.
Shadow Demon, yeah, he has gone back for that.
Yeah, the Blink Dagger pickup over on the SD. Talked about the range at the very start of this game for SD, not the greatest instant counter to a Bat Rider.
They are smoked without his Timber Zone. Timber Zone does not have BOT. He's on the far top side of the map, so this could be potentially a good opportunity for IG by
He is smoking up. Good look up to Roshan, which they may think is alive, but it's another 40 seconds or ish until Roshan is up and Traitor in their midst, aka the Dire Catapult, which accidentally solo attacked, breaking his smoke.
Radiant's top
So it's
tower
IGV
has
who
looked
is
better.
currently, I almost want to say smoked, but they're just nature's guys hanging around that tier 2 tower.
And they're pinging on the
Radiant's
T3,
top tower
and
deserves
Paparazzi
just as
does
much
not
help as
have a
bottom.
TP scroll. Maybe in exchange with one of the supports, but this could take some damage. There is an Infest Bomb waiting perhaps to be exploded on.
They can't fight with their Luna. Luna only just entering the base. DP didn't force the issue until now. No one will be the one man to the front lines. And once again, these DPs look for that Bat Rider initiation. No one's low, blocks out the Chakra. As Luna blocks up the rest of the wave. But all this chip damage doesn't mean that much if IGV can hold, because you've still got the living armor. So it's not a kill push here from Virtus Pro. They'll back up. Remember, they were still waiting for Roshan, and Roshan's alive, but because they didn't kill the catapult, IGV also have this information. Now the trader will die.
They finally seen the Life Stealer pop out, but this is not good position for them. And one Observer Ward D, but they still have another one, but it doesn't catch sight of any of IG Vitality.
IG's looking back into Roshan. July didn't go just far enough to the side. Now, this flight,
Yeah.
he will actually see the Obs Ward. So VP are going to have a very dark map. 2 wards that are unable to go through full duration. In fact, if you look at the map at the moment, all they've got is their illusions. So this turns into 5-man Dota just because of this.
And who's going to get the jump on whom?
At this point, no one. IGV's backing out. And the base to start with and stay as close as you can, Roshan.
You can't leave that long though. Slaughter with the amplifying, with the life stealer, and no way to scout inside the pit.
And they have a dire observer on the hillside.
Yeah.
Now, there's no flying vision in that area. So
sending a
while no
catapult
one
in.
does actually have a gem, yeah, another traitor. There's plenty more where that came from.
And I see no smokes in either team's inventory.
Now, VP can wait. Look at top lane. IGV has to get back to defend this unless they want to lose tier 4 towers. The BTs really need to come on that Timbersaw. So he can be that defense, but instead we've got an in July BKB flying out Mercury at the moment. So the Bat Rider's got a little bit more.
There's still some siege creep inside. You see all 4 of these heroes, and YG were just popped his brave. It could be a good time for them
Q
to
is
fight.
close enough that his overthrows will also be effective from outside that pit.
They also need Sakata over here. He was pushing out lanes, as you mentioned.
They need these. They need something. Bottom lane's pushing in too far. The top lane continues to pressure, and VP will back out every single time. No one from IGV defending the top lane.
They're very vigilant about constantly having something close to or inside the pit, in between the Manta illusions and the HOD, knowing that any 10-second window could be VP's chance to take on that prized Roshan. Yeah, but seeing how low it is, it could be very tempting for them to go inside themselves. And VP's also doing the same thing, constantly sending a barrage of illusions throughout the lanes and around the pit.
This time they're infested. VP still have not seen that observer ward up on the hillside. This is doing so much work for IGV. They know where VP is moving. They can reposition forward. The living up was already up, which a lot of that damage. Back to 3-man wall. DK locked in position with that lasso, but now he breaks free and does his damage to Q. He'll go down without the Luna. IGV must be in full retreat, or will they? The Timber Sword isolates down. IGV, they've still got extra support with a blink cross from Lil. They keep this stuff around. Burning will get instantly evaporated, and in July, the last man left standing, but he will not stand for long. And they go around for the death parade. Team wipe in favor of Virtus Pro. Now they can take Roshan and maybe more.
So darn tanky that they're definitely able to pop their TK this time. And now with Soloist back up with a Blink Dagger, there is very little chance of any of their strength heroes dying to start. And Timbersaw, he's supposed to be the tankiest hero on the side of IG by Charlie, but he almost got blown up in a matter of seconds. They had to blow so many cooldowns at the start. And Blue, she popped her Manta early, and she just got amped, focused down during her PKD. This doesn't even matter. The life force does not have anything to do just yet.
Jumps in, throws the ulti out. DK's low, but he can just punch through and they lose another 2. Fighting before the Luna is back up and running. And this may be VP's ticket to actually gain Megas. And in fact, they just get the GG call. IGV had nothing else to defend with. Take game 1.
A very scary game for Virtus Pro. Showcasing a little bit of maybe a bit of defensibility from the heroes that they run in the draft, and I think a lot of fortitude coming out from IG Vitality with the Treant Protector pick, the way they played the early game, and that one team fight that they took around the Secret Shop.
Yeah, that was the time when IGV was able to get ahead, but then Virtus Pro, they also caught a bit of a break. The illusion block, and then the SD in the right position. So Solo, he made it just work so perfectly. You lose your Luna, you lose your momentum, and Virtus Pro, they dodged your bullet. And they were definitely staring down the barrel a lot closer than a lot of people would have thought. In fact, you saw the predictions come out beforehand. It was 100% going the way of Virtus Pro on some of them. And you have to always understand that every team has a chance in the game of Dota.
Their team fight prowess is unrivaled, I would say, by any team in this tournament. And this game showed exactly why.
Yep, but IGV, you got to give them props as well. Real solid strat. Very patient. Virtus Pro showed the same kind of thing too. And, well, if IGV can show that, if they can also get a really strong draft into game number 2, we could actually have a third game. We could have a series. Of course, the analysts, is that possible?
That is the question, Toby, isn't it? Yes, indeed. I'm really not so sure if our analysts agree with me, but I have to say, I think everyone loved seeing what IG could do in that first game. Right? You guys were sitting there. I feel like there was a surprise in your voice, Toby, when you were casting IG.
Well, yeah, I didn't think anybody could actually keep VP at bay, and IGV did it really well. I saw the Witch Doctor and Treant Protector. I'm like, oh, okay, this is going to be a really passive landing phase.
Radiant team's turn to
Stop
ban.
fighting. We're going back. We're not taking this fight. And everybody listens instantly.
Dire
Like
team's
no
turn to ban.
hesitation. Everybody trusts Sola. Like trust is a big deal in that. That's just making all the difference in this one.
And a lot of that trust comes from respect. I think, I mean, Folk, you'll be the first to
Radiant
agree
team
that
ban.
a captain has to have respect within his roster, otherwise that doesn't happen.
And he definitely does. Like
Dire
Lil is
team
probably,
ban.
you know, people can say he comes up arrogant and stuff like that, but you could hear in his interview how much he respected Solo. He's like, yeah, this guy has an incredible amount of experience. He's older than us. He's our elder. He's our dude.
Respect your elders. Talking of elders, Ted, we haven't heard
Oh,
of
I knew that was cool. Go on. No, it's fine. It's fine.
the draft has
Radiant
begun,
team's turn to
and it looks like it's going to be a rinse and repeat start for those bands as well.
They take the shot.
Dire
So we have a
team's
switch.
turn to pick.
The old
Switch sides.
switcheroo.
Switcheroo.
Same bands though, but Shadow Demon is taken by IG this time since their first pick. So
Those
VP
aren't
has
those identical bands, but just the other way
Yep.
around?
Hang on a second, yeah.
identical events,
Oh.
yep. Because they're switch sides. They switch
Yeah,
sides.
but
Throw a
still.
Magi.
To be
10
honest,
seconds
I
remaining.
kind of feel like IG, because Virtus Pro would be the one to ban out Bounty Hunter and
5
Rubik. that
seconds
is not
remaining.
Heroes that you ban out against Virtus Pro.
Yeah, they literally just switch sides. It's super. Interesting.
Reserve time.
Yeah,
You're thinking that they might be the other way
I
around?
think they might be the other way around because
Okay.
it seems very eerie if that is indeed the case. Because we haven't really seen Virtus Pro go for Bounty Hunter at all.
Radiant team's turn
No,
to pick.
indeed, and it is one of the most picked and banned against IG. So
Yes.
you are making good points here, Sheev. Absolutely. Shadow Demon's back though, and it is going to be almost exactly the same start.
Yep.
Being Luna and Batrider under their belt.
Do they take the Lifestealer this time? Or do they take the Slaughter
10
this time?
seconds remaining.
They have access to it.
They have
Yeah, they
access
do.
to it. I mean, why not?
5
It's
seconds
like you lost
remaining.
to it. I mean, maybe you just play the strat the other team did and hope for the best, but no.
Reserve
Definitely want to
time.
maybe change it up a little bit. It's definitely a strong pickup, though. Slaughter is a hero that we've been seeing either banned or picked in a majority of these.
Yeah,
No.
they've got the graphic.
There you
the
go.
wrong way
Yeah.
around.
It's going to get swapped and
It's
chopped and
gonna be
There we
changed.
go.
there.
No?
No.
Yeah, no.
Yep. No.
Yeah. I'm not so sure.
Maybe this is the right one. We'll see though. We'll see as the draft progresses. We should
Sure.
be able to figure out who's who. And I mean, Shadow Demon works well together with so many different heroes that you normally want to pick a
Yeah.
hero that doesn't give too much away with what you're trying to do. So Slaughter obviously for Virtus Pro was a good one because we know they run it at 9 Pasha. We know that Lil plays it. Marana is another one that comes to mind in terms of what teams often pick, although I don't think these two teams would pick them. But just a hero that can use in multiple
Dire
situations,
team's
and this
turn
is
to
definitely
ban.
a Virtus Pro Weaver pick, as I don't believe IG
all.
Vitality plays Weaver at all.
Yeah, so let's just for now assume that we do have Virtus Pro on the left hand
Yeah,
side
so-
and IG on the right, because this makes a whole lot more
Yeah,
sense.
there you go. So VP is on the left.
Yes.
IG is on the right.
10
Yes.
seconds
Okay,
remaining.
you are right.
All right. Okay. So Shadow Demon Weaver, you know
5
what's coming.
seconds
So this
remaining.
is like, in terms of keeping things a mystery. I guess there's a small chance that Nipasha or Ramses
Reserve
playing Weaver,
time.
but it's not going to happen. It's going to be Lil Weaver. So how do you prepare for that?
I mean, is it though? Because they always run Lil Weaver with the Drow Ranger. So this looks like
Yes.
it's a bit of a change up, though. Maybe they're going for. I mean, Weaver in a 1v1 matchup versus Batrider can do quite
Radiant
decent.
team's turn to ban.
But I mean, it leaves it open ended. You know, kind of the same thing as picking the Slaughter. It leaves it very open to you. So now we can
Dire
take a look
team
at
ban.
that's.
There you go.
We got
That's
it.
the one.
There we go.
That's the Badger.
Yeah.
That's the badge.
So same thing. They, of course, the Juggernaut. It's just IG Vitality is like super comfort pick, so they ban. Even though they have the Luna, same thing. They don't. It's like, well, no point giving it away. It's good with Luna anyway, with the push.
One of the big points you guys
10
made was don't
seconds
let them get
remaining.
Slardar, and they've chosen Weaver instead of it being available to them.
5
So we're
seconds
going for something different
remaining.
here for VP.
Just going to warm up all the heroes, you know?
Yeah. Just stretching
could be
them,
that.
stretching their fingers.
Yeah. See how things
Reserve
go.
time.
I always feel like with VP, they seem like a very confident team at the moment. They
Sure.
are. I don't think you could say they were arrogant because they
Yeah.
approached that game the right way.
Yeah.
I mean, they didn't sort of treat them without respect. They
Radiant team
played the
ban.
correct way against the strat. So I think confidence is good, and it's not sort of arrogance. It's confidence. So.
It's the same approach too. Like the Shadow Demon Slaughter, the Slaughter is left open. You know, he can go support, he can go off lane. I mean, in some cases carry, not with VP's case for the most
10
part.
seconds
Now
remaining.
Weaver, it's the same kind of thing. You know, he can be carry. He can actually go
Dire
everywhere.
team's
Yeah,
turn
yeah.
to
So it
pick.
leaves your draft just completely open and leaves it unpredictable.
I want to take this opportunity while we are seeing the draft continue to kind of pick your brain, Fogged, about what makes Lil's Weaver so scary. Because, I mean, it's not necessarily... It's something that he has kind of crafted. It's something that he's concocted himself.
10 seconds
What is it
remaining.
that he does so right on this hero?
I mean, he's a very aggressive player,
5 seconds
super aggressive
remaining.
player, and his team just enables him super hard with it. Like they give him all the farm possible. They're just like, you do you. Like in one of the games,
Reserve
I think
time.
this was at Summit as well. They gave him, he gets like a triple kill at level 1. He gets a bounty rune as
Radiant
well.
team's
He
turn to
buys a
pick.
level, like medallion at 2 minutes
As a position 4.
as a position 4. They just gave him pretty much. They gave him pretty much everything, and he was carry, the core support, like we were saying.
So IG Vitality up against eHome, I believe it was, had Burning playing Silencer.
Okay.
And this was the
remaining.
game they won. This was Burning actually doing really well on that hero, and them
5
having a
seconds
strategy
remaining.
around it to go hard in very early on.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Already having like that, the combo, Batrider
Yeah.
Silencer. We used to see that a lot more.
Wow.
Dire team's turn to pick.
Okay,
Oh,
Centaur.
wow. Big Centaur fan out there. Someone says, yeah, Centaur!
That was Shannon, probably.
Centaur.
It's a great hero versus like Batrider and Luna. This is of course like theorizing down the stages.
brainstorm,
Like,
brainstorm.
if you get
10
Aghanim's, you
seconds
reduce a lot of
remaining.
the damage potential. Is if somebody gets lassoed, you obviously get like 60% damage
5
reduction.
seconds
But even
remaining.
before you do it, your team is able to follow up with the counter initiation. Batrider lassos, you stampede in, everybody runs in,
Reserve
and
time.
you get your spells up. But versus a silencer, makes it a bit different.
Yeah, this does reveal that this Weaver probably. Would you say Ramses Weaver still is an option? I was gonna say this Weaver is a Lil Weaver then.
I think it still leaves it open, but it's more than likely Lil just because it's VP, but it's still
Yeah.
open-ended for sure.
Forgetting that, IGV, they have got legendary names upon them, not forgetting Burning, of course. And Q joining the roster as well.
So Paparazzi already playing Luna. We're missing Sakata's hero. Mid hero, there is still a chance of Dragon Knight still gonna get picked up by Virtus Pro as they did pin out the same heroes.
I think they need some like lockdown. They don't really have much stun for the Weaver. I know they like Jakiro a good amount, and they like doing it with like these dual lanes like Batrider or Jakiro or something like that. It enables them more. But okay, so
Radiant
different
team's
form,
turn to
not like
pick.
straight lockdown, but he's very good versus Weaver at multiple stages. Gives you like more vision game as well. Luna gives you nighttime, has better nighttime vision. Batrider Firefly vision, and Night Stalker if you get your Aghanims, you give the crazy amount of vision to your team. So IG playing that type of game,
10
that type
seconds
of approach.
remaining.
Yeah, you got a spell to break the Lincolns, you got the silence to follow up. After
5
that, if
seconds
Weaver
remaining.
indeed will get that Lincolns depending on what build he goes for, because if it is a Lil Weaver, then he probably won't.
BP
Reserve time.
frontliner if they do the dual laner as well,
Yeah.
like Night Stalker, Batrider.
I do like it when we keep calling it Lil Weaver. It does sound like a kind of a street name.
It sounds more like a kid's playset.
Oh, I was
The
thinking-
Lil Weaver
I was thinking
playset.
like a hip-hop artist.
Oh.
Like Lil Weaver. Lil Weaver in the house.
Okay.
I see that?
I think it does.
You call it lethal if you want.
No, it's not a beetle. It's clearly not a beetle. Goodness me.
When they pick so many like different things of being able to just like shut down the Weaver in a way, like Night Stalker, Batrider, Silencer, these things like really hurt a core Weaver, I would more assume that it's getting pushed more to the Lil's hero as well. So
Yeah.
that makes sense.
Well, so you think the worse things get for a carry Weaver, the more you push him down the order.
Makes sense.
Then that means that their core so far is not countered yet at all. Or at least, all the focus towards the Weaver.
Dire
There's the
team's turn to
Mirana.
ban.
No one plays the Mirana for Virtus Pro more often than not. Whenever they pick up that hero, they do have the arrow
Yeah,
disruption
Shadow
to
Demon
set up.
Mirana, yeah.
Set up for the arrow.
The classic.
Yeah.
10 seconds
It's a
remaining.
more wave clear, more burst damage potential as well with the Mirana.
5 seconds remaining.
Night Stalker gets a gem though, and an Aghanims. Mirana's ultimate's gonna be useless. Weaver's
Reserve
She's
time.
gonna be kind of not as powerful as it was before. I think that the vision game here is gonna be really strong for IG Vitality.
The cool thing, that's for sure. I think the nice thing for VP is that this is still very open-ended. Like, where do you can't really assume where any of these heroes are going to go. Like,
Yeah.
it could be a
Yes.
mid Mirana, it could be a support Weaver, it could be an off-lane more than likely off-lane Centaur.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
it leaves like these two, like you're like, okay, which one is
Right.
which one is Lil going to be playing? Which one's Noah going to be playing? We don't really know just yet.
And it's not necessarily like homework will help you, because you could have done your research to see who plays what most, but
Yeah, they can just change.
They can just change it
it.
up.
Yeah, exactly.
it is scary to be one pick away from locked in and they still don't
Radiant
know where
team's
everything's
turn to
going.
ban.
They still think that these are it's a carry Weaver and support
They've
Mirana.
been at the Shadow Fiend.
Yeah, no one Shadow Fiend is something definitely to fear, as we saw multiple times.
What,
Not
need-
here,
what
but-
needs to happen for IG Vitality to fit an axe in their
10
lineup? Because I
seconds
feel like that's one
remaining.
of the Sakata's stronger heroes. Let's put it that way.
5
Trying to think
seconds
where you put
remaining.
him. It'd be kind of tricky.
Ban
Radiant
the
team's
Storm.
turn to pick.
They did that last time, and they picked the DK right away. But
Do you think they need more beef when you've got the Centaur?
they like
could,
picking very
right?
tanky heroes, and
Yeah.
they don't really have a natural tower here. Like Weaver's okay.
Yeah, once he
there's,
gets a Deso, it's pretty good.
yeah,
Yeah.
he's decent at prodding towers, but they
10
don't have any of
seconds
those
remaining.
natural.
They want to sit there and just hit towers, guy. DK would be a
5
good
seconds
shout.
remaining.
He did well last time on the DK as well.
I wouldn't imagine that they do the same thing either. Like, sometimes they do, but
Reserve
no one's a
time.
very versatile player. He has like many different heroes that he does like to play.
You said before that now is the time to do the special strat. Now
Yeah.
to pull the ace from your sleeve. Does this Night Stalker Silencer feel like that to you? I mean,
Yeah,
Is this
absolutely.
enough to be that ace up the sleeve to at least throw a bit of a spanner in the works of Virtus Pro?
Last time I saw Night Stalker was Wings playing, and he went completely berserk at
Awesome.
Summit with it. So that's
The difference is I like the way IG started off with the Luna Bat. So you didn't know that it was going to be something unusual, and then they follow it with two slightly different
10
picks.
seconds
If their
remaining.
third pick is really unusual, then
Oh, wow, okay.
yeah,
So-
pick
Dire
the last
team's
dealer again.
turn to
Yeah, why
pick.
not?
That
Corn.
answers all of our questions.
So it is the Lil Weaver, and it's going to be the Noah and Marana, and
Yep.
I mean Ramsey's Lifestealer again,
I can't believe they made it all the way through the draft.
right?
Yeah.
It can get punished, obviously, because of like the lasso silencer combo, but maybe we'll see him go for like that Manta
10
build that he did
seconds
before to
remaining.
remove the global, something like he emphasized before.
Yeah.
Alchemist.
There's an
Okay,
Alchemist.
Alchemist.
Okay.
Interesting draft. I'm liking IG's. IG's like different approach in this game for sure.
Well, I mean, you've had a different draft when there's an audible ooh
Yeah.
from the crowd. That's awesome.
Yeah.
So IG, the odds are stacked against them, Shiva. But just closing thoughts. This is the ace we were looking for.
I think it might be. I still think Ramses' Lifestealer is. I mean, it's just looked like a very good draft from Virtus Pro. It just seems like something they're comfortable with. But
Yeah, a comfortable Virtus Pro fogged.
I like IG's scaling potential though. It's definitely interesting. We'll see if they're able to really pull it off with the combos that they have too.
I think that's the best word we're going to use. Interesting
Yes.
is how we're going to frame this. IG VP, they already made VP sweat just a little in the first, and now they're on the ropes. If IG concede this, they will be the first team eliminated from the
10
Boston
seconds
Major. And your
remaining.
casters to guide you through the action are Merlini and Toby 1.
5 seconds remaining.
Thanks a lot, Machine. Yes, you know what? Personally, Melini, I hate using the word interesting because it's kind of like that throwaway. It was an interesting movie of Aragon where dragons were cool.
There's an Urban Dictionary
Prepare for
definition
battle.
of interesting. It's not interesting.
Yes.
Makes
And
sense.
That's exactly what I don't want to have for this game. This game, I prefer to have the game of the immortal. VP, insanely difficult lineup to kill, great rotations with the SD to move, and of course Lil's Weaver is always the VP spice that you add to the pot. While IGV, they look like they're going to scale well. Is something different to the last game? Less lane presence? What do you think about IGV?
They have Alchemist. Alchemist is sporting a 90% win rate.
Really?
Yep. He's the highest win rate at
That's
the Boston Major.
that's a
with
pretty
over 5
impressive
games
win rate.
played. Yep. He's been winning a ton, and a lot of teams just cannot stop him.
I wonder how many of those games that were over on
30
Radiant, not on
seconds to
Dire.
battle.
How many, it's easy just to slip down when you're on the Radiant side and get that farm for the Alchemist. This time around, though, IGV, gonna have to prepare a lot of farm with rotating supports of VP, throwing spanners in the works.
They are so scared, hiding behind their T1. They want to get a rune. They want to see where they are and then try and get a rune. So now they see Shadow Demon, 4 heroes will run bottom. Q will stand up the hill to make sure no one's around. Nothing funny is going on.
And
This
they
ain't no
protect the
snowball
Alchemist.
fight.
Or
They need the money. Keep solo away from the rune and let the Alchemist get his first 3,000
There's a
gold or something
DC.
from a rune.
Can we pause?
Obviously, that's inflation.
I guess Radiant
but
fortified
look at
their
where they've
structures.
placed the Observer Wards already on the Radiant side, or Radiant Observer Wards. They've blocked out this camp and they blocked out the pool camp with 2 Observer Wards. So that's 6 spawns that will not spawn.
That's a lot down. But for the moment, with it just being no one versus the Alchemist, and with that high ground observer ward for Sakata, he's going to be able to see practically everything coming towards him in the mid lane. And with Dire Observer Ward down the bottom lane, in a place where it doesn't block up anything, but it sees a hell of a lot. So the second SD leaves the lane, there'll also be information for IGV. So even if their laning phase isn't as regenerative as game 1, they definitely have the vision to allow them to prepare and potentially counter the movements of VP.
Yep, and there's no smokes on the side of VP and no sentries on top lane for IG Vitality. So all in all, early game should be kind of as we expect. This Night Stalker Bat Rider lane is very, very strong. Shadow Demon as a solo support cannot really deal with a bat, let alone a bat +1, but maybe that's where the Weaver comes in.
Love how much damage Burning is able to do.
Yeah.
You can find it with just the Lunar Aura, even if it's just level 1. Tasha, a lot of life, a stout shield as well, but with the early point up in Glaive, Burning's just trying to zone out a very, very tanky Centaur.
I haven't seen them run the Weaver too much without the Drow Ranger, so I wonder how well Lil will do without much of the solo kill potential that he usually has.
He's normally still very successful with it. I was actually looking at those stats before the group stage even began, and in the last month, before the Boston Major actually happened, there was only one game where they actually combined the Drow and the Weaver out of the 3 they played, and all 3 games were a success. And in July, that's a decent rune. With the pullover that's happening, he needs more support. Q doesn't really offer that as a level 1 Night Stalker during daytime.
They can kill the Shadow Demon. Oh, he's in a terrible position. They can actually. I thought he was going to try and block him on the cliff. But he has a Sentry Ward, so maybe has to be a little bit fearful.
At the moment, it's just leeching. The Saturn Blast actually hurting Solo, and you can see in July, he wants the SD. Lil's going to Shikuchi his way through. Q's already TPing away. But with a Firefly down, maybe in July can steal just a little bit of what's left of this stack.
Very important to have a TP right there. This is a lane that you just do not want to feed. They haven't been able to block either spawn, so the supports would get a lot if any of those heroes died.
Pasha's already abandoned. He's just gone jungle now as this Centaur. This is all the free space. So again, IGV gonna have a very farmed up Luna. How's the timing actually work for this? So you've got a very different game to what you had previously. How do you run this? If you're IGV, what's the sweet spot for the Luna?
I think it's just the same thing, except they have a much different hero in the mid lane. It's very similar to last game, right, with the Bat and the Luna, but this time the Timbersaw doesn't have to go in and fight. VP are way more forced to come onto IG Vitality's side of the map because of this Alchemist. There is some unfortunate things for them though. The camp that Angela is taking out right now was a troll camp, and the Night Circle was trying to stack it, but that camp is very hard to stack if it's a troll camp, if you're a melee hero. So they weren't able to get too many stacks up on him, and of course Burning now running to the jungle and be like, okay, this camp is blocked, where do I actually stack now?
Yeah, don't stack anything. Middle lane, Sakata's about to be attacked on, and he's come too far over the river. Just a simple destruction, Centaur Assaultman should be the first one to Virtus Pro. Arrow will fly in perfectly, they get the Starfall off, and it will be no one that claims the first blood in the mid.
Yep, and VP welcomes the invitation to come on their side of the map and destroy the Alchemist. And, no stacks for the Alchemist, an early death before level 6, slowing him down a lot, especially right before the 4-minute spawn. So, no rune. At least he still has that Reservoir Ward up in mid, didn't get too rewarded, but
it's just hard to see when there's smoke going to happen. This is Alchemist, don't really care. I don't probably care more about this. In July, being open points up, Burning has rotated down, but his timing for this is a little bit too late. So Solo just able to walk off. That's a very low Centaur. Pasha actually went down to 5 HP when he was doing his farming, so almost gets himself denied as well. That wasn't part of his plan.
I like the way that they round out the items on the Weaver. He's going for a Blightstone, so this saves Lifesteal another item. They always have a way to augment the Lifestealer's damage. Last game with the Amp, this game with a little bit of minus armor for the Weaver.
Radiant's top tower deserves just as much help as bottom.
Still a little concerned for VP,
Radiant
just how much space this Luna's getting.
Now
Now attacking into the tier 1 tower. Once Pasha's healed up, okay, he's not even waiting to heal. He's got his Tranquil Boots anyway. Jumps straight to the top lane. This is good chip damage into the tier 1 tower. And when this happens, VP have to actually commit resources, or else the Alchemist just continues to free farm. Bottom lane, a little bit of chip.
They're not slowing down the Lifestealer's farm at all. He's still well above 30 CS in his early game.
The only concern is just how much that CS really balances out with IGV, with the net worth.
Well, Alchemist isn't getting bounty runes, nor is he getting a lot of CS in the mid, and he's also not getting stacks. So I think it's going very, very well. This is not going to be a super hot Alchemist start. He doesn't even have any pieces of his armlet yet. Instead, going for the early raindrop on the Alch.
In July, what rune is okay? Lil's going to get himself an illusion rune. Not exactly what he wants for a kill, but it may just be enough anyway. The Beatles are down. Burning has to help get rid of that. So in July can survive, but no. Lifestealer moves over. Gets one, then open runes into Q under the tier 1 tower. Virtus Pro currently flawless on the kill board at 4-0.
This offlane has just been a disaster for them. Q was trying to block the Lifestealer so he wouldn't have to, so he would try and save the Bat Rider, but then he just gave away his own life, and Now the supports are really highly leveled.
Denied.
Like I think Lil's Weaver has had a lot of success because his safe lane has just always gone their way. And he's almost level 5 as a support Weaver against a dual lane.
This kind of sacrifice makes more sense now from IGV. Just don't fully sack the off lane, let Burning pull it back, soak up some experience himself, get to his level 6, and let the Batrider have mid. Alchemist is still very happy to be inside the jungle. Now bottom lane as the instruction. Oh, okay. Well, it was nice until Burning gets initiated on. Solo doesn't die to the tower, just gets back to the other side of the tree line. And back to safety. But you're going to get more out of this laning phase without risking as
Radiant's
much
top tower
if you're
has looked
IGV
better.
making this choice.
So what are IG Vitality going to do? They need to get some more gold and create some space for the Alchemist. So they can opt to push with the Luna. Seems to be their option at the moment.
They've got the tower.
Radiant's
Attention
top
denied by
tower
Pasha. You don't want to be fighting this IGV. Support's coming in, but maybe if you got the Eclipse and an isolated Centaur, you actually find the kills before support can arrive from Verse Pro. They TP'd into the tier 2 tower. That's why it took a little bit longer for both Lil and Solo to arrive.
That's a very greedy play from Pasha. He didn't have a Stampede. He used it to help the lifestealer out on getting those kills on the bottom rune. And doesn't really quite have the items yet to tank a full Eclipse.
So now you give money to a Luna who's already top of the net worth by giving her a kill. And Luna, without that tier 1 tower in the top lane for Virtus Pro, has pretty much free reign of her own jungle once the Alchemist leaves it. A nice Alara hit in the middle, but it's nice stun, but no follow-up.
And they just need to be concerned about the stacks on both sides. IG Vitality, they definitely need more ancient stacks, definitely need more stacks for the Batrider. Just stack, stack, stack.
They can get that farm up. Obviously, the Alchemist had to soak up so much, so that's why the Batrider can't get the big injection, but once Global Silence is up, VP is still concerned. And you said it yourself, right? VP, they're the ones who are forced to actually attack. They're the ones that have to go into IGV, while IGV are very happy to sit back and passively farm.
At the same time, IG Vitality just open up the map a little bit more, just so they have more places to farm. You don't see an Alk and a Luna pairing too often, just because they occupy a lot of the same camps and do a lot of the same duty in terms of their farming patterns and techniques. So,
Well, can IGV start doing that once you have Global Silence? Is that the critical ability you're waiting for?
I would say it's actually more so nighttime that they need to wait for. Luna and Night Stalker are both very, very strong during nighttime. They need to be able to get like the jumps on the heroes before they pop their instant cast Kuchi, instant cast Rage. These defensive abilities are just way more likely to actually be used during the daytime before they can get the jump on them. So I think nighttime is going to be really nice for them.
Burning again is forced just to mop up the pieces when Virtus Pro started harassing their tier 1 towers.
Moonlight Shadows up. Looks like they're perhaps setting up for a move relatively soon. Last game, we were waiting on the starter Blink Dagger. This game, not really too much to wait for, I suppose.
You
But
go Stampede into Disruption with Catcher, and
Yeah.
that's a very high Catcher as well from Solo. You went for a 2-3 build into this Shadow Demon.
And the
So
same smoke around, and Takata will retreat
He's going
to
down.
the south. Yeah.
It's the worst time, actually. A Bounty Rune gets scattered in the bottom river, so Takata just goes down to grab it.
But they still get the ward, so at least getting something out of the smoke to perhaps gank a stack. But I think it's going to be very difficult for them to take a fight. They're wasting a lot of daytime. It's been 2.5 minutes of daytime and nothing really to show for it. While IG Vitality grouped up as a ball yet again, minus the Alchemist this time.
Here's the Moonlight Shadow. Does IGV realize what's going on? They're already on the way out. The Stampede forward. Darkness gets triggered out by Q. He will be disrupted up. The arrow's on the way in, and it's actually missed. He walks to the side, but the Salt from Pasha still does the work, so Night Stalker will die.
I still think that IG Vitality get way more out of this. Alchemist, he sees all those heroes on bottom, he's like, great, this is awesome.
That means I can farm up the mid lane. The Luna can TP up to the top lane in a second. That's a creep wave and a half, if not 2 full creep waves for her to farm.
And Burning got another stack
Radiant's
off. Look at
middle
that
tower
large,
is under
juicy,
attack.
ancient stack of double dragons.
Instead, though, IGV, they hold on the bottom lane. VP are forcing into the tier 1 town. Fortifications up. This all stall up a little bit of time. After Razi just loose and beam harassing, they still have to get rid of all these illusions. Plus the catapult. And Ramsey's coming in close, gonna get silenced up in July, looking for that opening just to get a little bit closer, but what's he really gonna find? Ramsey's the primary target, Lasso, while he's inside the Rage, Q's able to get the distance as well, get rid of that bug, he's the lowest line for IGV, but it's Ramsey in the tree line, they're surrounding him, defensive disruption, the Firefly is still down, the silence of the Centaur, he can't stop, he can't control, Lifestealer's gone, Centaur will join him, Lil pick up burning in the back right, Lil will be able to find the kill, he's at the Sentry Wall, the damage, he's out of vision, so far away, 18 HP, no creep can deny him, back into Invis, the Glaze won't bounce, Lil still hiding, looking to deny himself up to Roshan, but it will be the death of Solo, so 4 heroes from Virtus Pro will die here, 1 will be denied, and 3 will be probably killed. In fact, Lil actually still had a TP, he actually gets a TP back to base. There's still a 3-for-1 trade-off.
They were not able to save that lifesteal there. No Stampede used, and that's a fight that you do not want to lose. This is them pressuring 5-on-4. They really wanted the T1 tower, but IG with a staunch defense there, and that is pretty much just the way for Alchemist Radiance. And like,
he's the
normally
fifth
losing
you
a fight is
mentioned.
bad, but losing a fight like that while being outnumbered.
Yeah.
And
It's the 5th one you mentioned. When you can actually fight 5v4, hold your tier 1 tower, and you get better trade-offs.
that was even like pretty good play by Lil too. He tanked most of the clips and then time walk it off or time lapse it off. But the Lifestealer dying too early in the fight, and I think that Rider came from the right angle.
This Alchemist are getting so fat. 9k net worth, the highest over on VP belongs to no one at 5.6.
Yeah, now it's nighttime. How did they actually get the jump? Now Lifestealer actually has to be scared because they jumped him first the last fight. And if he gets silenced, you're going to have to slow disruption lane, and he's going to be in a terrible position just waiting to get lassoed into IG's dipping hands.
It's kind of like that odd time right for VP. VP are normally used to pushing that tier 1 tower bot with just the Lifestealer cost 1. Well, yeah, initiation with disruption. Able to connect, global silence. The follow-up is there, so there's no starfall, there's no burst damage, but at the same time, Alchemist doesn't have his chemical rage. TC supports on the way over, so the Alchemist will drop. Burning couldn't arrive in time.
That's a huge kill for them. Maybe just not expecting them to have sentry wards with that smoke. It's not really something that you expect from the Alchemist, especially when they took the fight on the bottom side of the map. You'd expect them to have more vision around there, maybe the one right next to Roshan.
You still lose the tier 1 tower on bot. Trade-off is Lil doing heavy damage to the top. Tasha's holding behind him with a little bit of extra support. Okay, the trade-off will actually be a tier 1 tower in mid 2.
I like this Hurricane Pike pickup from the Luna. Last game he went for a Yasha Manta first, but this game he can just rely on the Alchemist to farm and do the majority of the damage, maybe even get pulled and ags later. And all they need to do is kite the Lifestealer. That's one thing that they did not do well last game at all, because the Force Staff came much later.
IGV have to protect this stack of theirs. Sakata's moving over right now. Paparazzi can sit on the hill and do his little thing. He's got 4 points up in Glades. The dream timing for Luna, and of course the normal build. But you want most of this to go into the Alchemist. That's just a huge injection of money. You finished up the Radiance flying on the Courier at the moment. But everybody just gets a little bit of experience from it.
In Dire's top tower?
But actually giving the rest to Luna. Okay, so Luna will take everything else straight.
Yeah, he already has the Radiance. He can power farm anywhere he wants, pretty much.
Okay, I take it all back. He's now taking almost every single one apart from one of the Black Dragons.
And on the flip side, we have no one who just completed his scepter.
I don't know if that was intentional, or if the Luna's just getting frustrated. The Alchemist was taking his last as he force-staffed him out, trying to get him away from the agents. Bottom lane rotation, Ramsey's very much isolated. The Stampede trying to get him into the tree lines so he can TP out under the cover of Rage. Lasso is the only thing in July, can't get there in time. So the Stampede movement speed gets them away from the initiation.
What a timely scan too. They scanned a little bit to the right of Reservoir Ward, kind of where Luna is right now, and it hit red. As soon as he did that, he trucked it to the right
Dire's
side.
top tower is under attack.
Only thing that can stop him is Lasso at the moment.
But Bat Rider just didn't have the speed. He went for the drums and tranquils, doesn't have the blink dagger up just yet. But IGV are going to start their push with a Radiance up. VP won't really want to be fighting into this.
Yeah, only 1,000 gold behind
Radiant's bottom
for
tower is
VP.
under
That's,
attack.
I would say, a big victory
Dire's
for
middle
them.
tower isn't
Being
going
up
to
versus
last
an
long.
Alchemist. I think like 4,000 is probably par at this point versus
Not
an Elk.
much good's happening to Radiant's bottom tower. Dire's
As long as they
middle
can keep him
tower
down.
is under attack.
No one was able to find a lot of farm too. He jumped into the jungle for a short period of time and now sits at 7.5k.
Yeah, it's super important that Mirana has this amount of armor, is able to creep skip as much as she is doing right now, because Lifestealer, he can't get Kaiser, he needs a secondary source of damage, a little bit from the Weaver, but mostly from the Mirana.
Interesting smoke maneuver. So IGV are already using the Alchemist as bait, solo, aiming close to Sakatara in the mid, but doesn't find his opening. And Ninja stop him with the lead. Global Silence going to come out just a fraction of a second earlier there from Burning. Stop that escape from no one. So now with Global Silence down, IGV are the ones on the defense.
Whew, that was close. And Global Silence maybe came out 1 second earlier, they would have gotten that kill, but VP now very willing to take a fight. Blink Dagger on Centaur. Infest.
They have to get out of the jungle.
Yeah, they got to get out. He has a TP scroll. He could haste over and maybe play a little bit greedy. Moonlight Shadow they're set up. Luna looks to be the target that they would want to kill, but they are positioned so well on the right side that it's very difficult to blink across that T2 tower.
Alchemist has already left. Like, he pinged down before VP started taking the tier 2, saying, I'm not involved in this. I'm going to go down, I'm going to farm bottom lane, going to farm up the Radiant jungle. This is not the time to fight.
Angela is on the side of the secret shop,
Someone
just looking
better
to get one of the
help
backline
Dire's
supports. He
middle
doesn't have a Blink Dagger yet, so his angle
Looks
attack
like
is very
Dire
difficult.
fortified
They
their
also
structure.
have darkness stuff, which makes it much more difficult for VP to be caught by surprise.
Dyer's
That's why they're
middle
using the
tower
Hurricane
isn't going
fight.
to
Like,
last
Luna was
long.
the one that tried to push him in before. It's like, you're not going to get there in time. Let me give you a nudge. Now, Stampede, nice Hurricane bike away from the Luna. Burning, he's going to be caught out. So Cat Rider as well as the Silencer will fall. Courier as well. Very low on life. It's got the PTs. For the Alchemist, was flying back down to him, so the BTs do reach the Alchemist.
Dyer's
That's
middle
not a fight
tower
that they
just
should have
went
been
down.
looking to take at all. Alchemist, as you mentioned, had already TP'd on the bottom lane. They don't have a couple of their ultis up, and maybe like just having one hero out that you can force that just to waste a little bit more of their time. But ideally, Alchemist would be beating on towers, stealing some stacks, and not losing a T2 and 2 heroes on the side of IG.
And then actually gets to push the gold up the way of VP. As you see them getting the advantage in the trades, the biggest experience gain they've had. Advantage they've had so far in this matchup.
And Weaver is also transitioning very nicely into a core. So Lifestealer, Luna, these won't be the biggest players in the game perhaps when it gets late.
And IGV, they need a better answer.
The cavalry has
Straight up
arrived.
farming isn't going to do it for you at the moment. But how do you force a fight with what you've got? You've got to find space for In July, but In July, I suppose he's forced down to the bottom lane to find this farm. But Alchemist is just soaking up so much on the map.
They might go for a kill on Lil.
Well, the Alchemist moves in first. You do have that little rotating Night Stalker. Trigger up Darkness, you can get that instant silence, doesn't have it. Sentry Wars down, so they see where he runs, but into the trees. Alchemist will stun himself as Lil even armor bugs him up and tries to turn and do some damage. Support's rotating in for VP, but it's Hughes left behind trying to get rid of the bug and then start his TP. All of that took way too long. And the Night Stalker burns his darkness as well as his life.
And another big wasted rotation from IG Vitality.
Ramsey's going into the mid. If he really thinks he can kill off the Luna, but slips him behind the lines.
Now they just need to prioritize the blink on the Batrider. Like, these games are just way too sloppy, and Weaver, probably unbeknownst to IG Vitality, is not building the Lincolns, so he can be a prime lasso target.
With that diffusal,
Dire's
now
top
Silence
tower is
doesn't really do
under
that much to him.
Nor Night Stalker. So I actually do think you lasso him. You might have to lasso the Lifestealer, however, during the rage. So your team doesn't get destroyed.
You talk about the issue that almost every single team has had with Virtus Pro. What do I do when Lil plays as Weaver? Easy damage to kill the Batrider. Like, do I really want to commit that many abilities for, like, Lil Weaver?
Probably. You have 4 steps for the Lifestealer. But these need their lanes to be pushed out a little bit more. It's super safe just farming out with Alchemist, Radiance Illusions. You're at very little risk of dying unless they smoke past them.
Dire's
But right
bottom
now,
tower needs some help.
it's just all of IG Vitality
Dyer's
trying to
bottom
farm as
tower
much as they
always did
can
get
on
short
the map.
shrift.
He's making his rotation. He's going to find a courier. That's actually
Dire's
got a Tome of
bottom tower
Knowledge
is being
plus the
chipped
Yasha on
away.
it. As he missed his time to attack, wasn't ready to see it, so all of this will be
Radiant's
delivered.
tower is under attack. Dyer's bottom
So
tower is
VP
under
will have the bottom
attack.
tower.
So that paparazzi is actually on the Radiant side, forming the Radiant jungle. So they're still getting a decent amount of gold, but not enough to overcome this lead in VP.
He needs another 500. He needs his BKB before this fight begins, but VP are ready to go.
Is under attack.
No one's even there.
Radiant's middle tower
They have to
is
start
under
TPing
attack.
back now. So the Luna will
Dire's
arrive.
structures are fortified.
Quick glyph. The tower's already down to 2/3 life, burning with a little quick curse over on Ramsey.
Radiant's
Another way to
middle
break
tower-
free.
Radiant's middle tower has
So they will
fallen.
force him back out the bot lane. And the Mana Style has managed to be farmed up in the Alchemist, so the split push is going to slowly begin for IGV. And that's something which VP doesn't have a very quick and easy answer to. They can get rid of the creep waves with Mirana, of course.
Their cores are very efficient at farming though. So I wouldn't worry about too much lower VP just yet.
Maybe once some BTs are picked up, VP will feel more comfortable with it.
Yep, but the net worth by the battle
They
rider
found Pastor out of position, so in July, runs it. Flame Break is going to keep him there. The lasso will be committed. Maybe they're worried about Stampede Escape or something along those lines, but they get themselves a bit of a freebie thanks to the Observer Ward that saw everything just above the secret shop.
And finally, in July, we'll have his Blink deck.
That took way too long, but it's still 22 minutes. He's just been so close to it for so long. Moonlight Shadow from VP. Looks like it's time for them to try and have a crack at Roshan. They look for the Ancients with an arrow. The Observer Ward will see burning as the start to start with, but he's still very fragile, so easy to kill, even with missed abilities. But now IGV understand that VP are looking down towards Roshan.
And the very underrated part about Weaver is that his bugs are very, very good at explosion, just taking a lot of hits and reducing his armor. He's a natural medallion carrier that certainly aids. And IG Vitality looks like they're trying to group up to take out this.
They're too late.
Rally them out of Roche, but yeah.
They're actually just too late.
They're scanning right inside the Roche, and of course it's scanning green.
Yeah, you can't scan Roshan. So the smoke arrives, but it's all too late. So the Alchemist SD illusions walk straight back through IGV.
And no one is the one that they're looking to gank, but he already has Aegis. This could be a disaster if they initiate on him.
And they can't initiate.
Radiant's
Lasso was
top
down.
tower is under attack.
At the time Roshan died, it was still on cooldown for another 18 seconds. And when they had a small moment there to initiate a Mirana, it was still on cooldown for another 10.
That's a byproduct of them losing so many towers. All the T1s and the T2s on the bottom side of the map.
They have an opening for Ramses. They don't see him.
small.
The Observer Ward does, but it's already too late in July. Turn to the right, they've got a 4-star him down with a Blink Dagger. He still can't get in range. IGV, they're trying. They're trying, but they just can't find that opening against VP.
Just a tick too slow. In every mark. And wow, Mirana is very farmed. She had, I think, what, 16, 17 minute ags into a very quick blink and BKB.
At the same time, Lil completes up an entire Solar Crest. There's so much maneuverability coming out from Virtus Pro.
And the IG cores are also very hesitant about split pushing out lanes, knowing that an Infest Bomb could always await them.
There's still one major problem, which is there for VP. Pushing into the high ground is not the easiest thing in the world, but also keeping the Alchemist from gaining net worth.
Yeah.
Also quite difficult. If they shut down everyone else, that probably won't matter as much. But the Luna is still sitting at the second highest net worth on the field.
And in July, looking to cut a creep wave, they want to be able to push with his Aegis, and they have no creep. And if he cuts this wave, that's going to buy them a good few minutes of time. There is that one creep wave that's heading to them, but all they need to do is clear that out. But the last time they pushed, they used a glyph very, very late, so their T3 is still at half HP.
So maybe it is enough to chip it.
Yeah, this one wave has to die for IG Vitality.
Alchemist is already coming back. TP's very defensively, so he doesn't just get the acid spray down straight away, but able to send the Mantra illusions in. No one. Double Starfall, almost enough to kill off the illusions. Now the creep wave is gone. As you said, there is no secondary wave. The VP, and they keep the attack going just long enough. Keep that back door off. No, they can't.
Not if Angeli's there again. And a second TP will scare him away.
Hey, he didn't actually have his Firefly this time around, so the creep wave didn't follow or burn. But the top lane was pressured in. That's where the Alchemist continued to find his farm. Now 700 away from having the Octarine.
So that's a good half of the Aegis already wasted. By some clever creep cutting. Ooh, infest inside the Mirana.
That's a different target, but when she's got Blink and Leap, she's the best one to get to the front lines next to the Centaur.
And that's the same as was placed last game. And will gain a lot of vision and no signs of a gem yet. And daytime they have to be very, very scared. And Angel Eye's not there to creep at this time. Neither are the Alchemist Illusions. So this time, with what 2 minutes left on Aegis, looks like it's going to be a huge brawl. This key is too low for them to ignore.
Yeah, IGV's getting ready to fight. The arrow only hits on one of the illusions. With a flame break, they push no one in close. Star's taking that tick damage from the flame break. Watch that count timer on the Aegis. Not too much longer. As it sprays off cooldown in 2 seconds as well, so here's starting to just throws it out, ends up actually killing the Mirana with the curse and the flame break. No one's dropping down low, but remember, it says Aegis Sword will trigger and initiate while the Mirana is down. They turn on the Eclipse, now disengage from Virtus Pro, trying to run away. The Centaur will of course die, they only lasso onto Ramses. His infest off cooldown, he needs a target. That's why no one's coming in close. He'll BKB and take him away. Solo with the disruption, keeping Q out. Paparazzi, a quick Hurricane Pike will dodge the arrow. But Centaur did drop pretty quickly, and that could be even more disastrous for Virtus Pro if IGV could control and kill the Lifestealer.
And too much burn damage. Their lineup isn't really equipped to siege high ground. Normally, you either want like a really capable siege engine and with the Shadow Demon illusions, but Lifestealer, neither Lifestealer nor Sonic are really good targets. Maybe the Centaur, if you were more farm, you could just send Return Illusions. Actually, you can't do that anymore. So, yeah, they don't have a really good way to siege high ground. Or you have Infinite Sustain with like a max type, so you can tank these Alchemist Illusions. But the Alchemist is like almost double the net worth of most people in the game. So it's no easy task, especially with their heroes, to take these illusions down and just not get burned down before you even start the fight. Mirana had already lost her Aegis.
As this Alchemist starts to get closer, or they find an opening, it's Weaver. Q, the dust will come, but Lil is on the run away from this fight. Does the Alchemist get 6-slotted? Every single person from IGV, every time they get an Aegis, that's that new power spike. Maybe not so huge when you look at like a Batrider's lasso effect, but getting the vision out from the Night Stalker, the Global Silence upgrade, having Luna having so much more damage with that Eclipse without having to put herself at risk all the time. Bottom lane, oh, that's a very quick death of Burning. No one and Weaver teaming up together and Burning too far out. Maybe thought he was still one.
Very easy kill. I wonder what Mirana's going to transition into next. Whether it's going to like a Dagon EB build is pretty common, but I don't think it's particularly great at dealing with Alchemist illusions, or perhaps a right-click build with Chrysalis, Butterfly, Maelstrom, one of those.
Would you go that way, or do you almost prefer like Magical Nuke, get rid of those Alpha illusions nice and quick, keep your own up? Right now he's actually got the Void Stone on him.
Probably Magical Nuke, I think. I think even if he goes for a right-click build, they'll still lose out in the late game because of all the axe pulling. Alchemist's actually going for a Blade Mail.
It works really nicely for this situation.
Yeah. They don't have the best burst. Maybe if they get an arrow on him, they can kill him, but...
And he just turns on the Blade Mail. It's like, please fight me. Please Starfall.
Radiant's
I think the thing about the Alchemist too is he's like worried that they might lose the game right now. If they lose the game right now, then he can't save it for an AC, can't save it for a Shiva. So all he needs to do is, they scan out Ramses. He's around there.
There's a smoke gank. Someone's taking their Ancients. They want to stop it. IGV on the move.
They still know that he's around there. He does have an infest up, but going up this hill.
So they catch out the Weaver with elusive beam. Hold in position, actually committing the Global Silence. Kill off the support Weaver. And instantly transition into a mid push. IGV now on the aggressive. 30 minutes in, has taken them this long to start beating into a tier 2 town, but they're very quick when they do it.
And Will's a significant chunk of their network.
Middle tower go?
Can buy back. This is available. But then Ramses. Okay, the question mark is here. Now, does VP actually have enough high ground defense? And Mirana's trying to build into a Lincoln Spear, so right now she doesn't really have many stats. And with the stun, Ramses has to rage to start the armlet toggle. This chip is working beautifully for IGV, and if they can bring down the tier 3 tower, Luna becomes
middle tower
so
has
much more
fallen.
powerful. Look for these blades to bounce around. You get a copy of the Alchemist, or at least you've got him. They push the Alchemist in deep, but with the Eclipse turning on, it's really only the illusions, but now the blades will start doing their work as well. Fortification's been burnt, the arrow hits the Alchemist, pushing further away, can't on the top to do it. IGV, they will be repelled, burning will die. No one wants to get more kills, however, with the slow one in July. Is that diffuser blade charge going to work? IGV lose 3, and only one of them has buyback, and that is the Alchemist.
And they didn't even get the melee rounds. Still sitting at around 30% HP, but surely to be regioned up by the next time they go up that hill. And fortunately for IG Vitality, there is no Roshan respawn. It's about 10 minutes, 10, 15 seconds. So another couple minutes left.
Yep, 1.5. That should do it. Here, quick TP out. Will's gonna find him. But right now, VP want to attack into the mid lane. If they possibly can do it, or they rotate into the bottom. That tower is very, very low, so Ramsey can do it by
Dire's bottom
himself.
tower needs
But the rest
some
of
help.
VP will come. Fortification triggered
Dire
with the
have
tower at
fortified
17
their
HP. And IGV, they'll buy back now the
Dire's
Alchemist, so
bottom
the tower will
has
fall.
shattered to little pieces.
That's what-
The
Dire's
VP
bottom
20
barracks
seconds
are
left on
under
the
attack.
Yeah, they just want to make sure this Rack doesn't get hurt. And he can get decent amount of the money back anyway through greed.
And now VP will control that secret shop area. They don't have that observer reward that they normally have to the north side of the shop.
So let's actually have a quick look back at this. So this is the Mirana defense. This is no one. Trying to keep everybody out. Hits the sweetest arrow possible. And then the chase is good. Realizing we can go for that third.
Yeah, they just didn't have much left in the tank after that. So, good few minutes before nighttime is up. IG Vitality actually have not been making the best use of it. But at the same time, VP's just been pressuring them a lot during the daytime. But I have to say, around the Roche pit, we see the Ags coming out on Pasha very, very soon. He still does not have a way to get out of the global, so it doesn't seem to be the biggest threat yet. But now with Roshan respawning with fairly high certainty, expect more action to be headed around there.
And that's why IGV is already on the hunt. But most of Firefly was burnt out by In July, looking for someone in the tree line. The scan goes out from Virtus Pro on top of Roshan. Now burning, sees Roshan. She starts the fight. Parazzi's going to just push himself into the pit now. There's a lot of vision from Virtus Pro. They already had the Observe Ward watching over the mouth of the entrance to Roshan. And the BT just got scouted out. He did it in, like, literally on top of the Radiant Creep Wave. So VP know if they want to slip into
Radiant's
Roshan,
bottom
they can do
tower.
so.
Versus Bat.
Yeah,
Very, very tough.
very dangerous.
But he's not using the Alchemist Illusions to really push out the lanes. So, despite having a very farmed Alchemist, the lanes are generally in VP's favor.
Kind of surprised he didn't use it before. Like, you attack the top lane, you then trigger it, or push out. Instead, they smoke in the mid, they're behind the Luna. And Paparazzi becomes the bait, and are they actually making a play where Luna pushes the mid and then they turn this into a Rax trade-off? Is that what's actually coming out at the moment?
The creep wave is very, very far away. And they do have that in reserve reward. Doesn't see anyone yet. They could catch out Pasha, though.
Now here's the creep wave.
Do they have
They
a
rise, they go in, they look, and they see Solo, so they initiate. They want that SD down, they're going to get a buyback is available. But the Rax starts to be assaulted. Moonlight should have been triggered. Jumps in with a stun over on Luna. She didn't get a BKB off. Now with the global silence, the melee Rax is down. IGV, you want to get out of here with as few patches as possible. But the outcome, he can't do it. He's cursed up, he just can't run. The Eclipse will turn on the damage! With the Glaive is doing some work. 2 down for Virtus Pro without buybacks. But Paparazzi starts his TP. They can't get the arrow. No one can't turn. There's a lot of gunk in that system. So melee racks claimed by IGV and they lose the Alchemist without buyback.
Man, IGV really like that play. Were you watching the China qualifiers, how they beat LGD? That's the very similar play. They were on Dire. They smoked up with the racks down and just smoked straight into their base. A very unexpected play. And Solo took that.
He thought he could defend it. 1 point Shadow Poison, pull the creep wave back, couple of illusions, it would have been enough to score them.
Yeah, if they got that Luna kill, would have been VP would have been very happy with that. But
The
this is
prize is
why
mine.
This is why Batrider's such a top pick. Like the simple napalm on the Mirana, look at her turn. She's like, oh, I can't.
Oh, and then the vision appears. Fraction of a second too late.
Are those
The
cracks in
napalm just
Dire's
makes it so
top
much harder for
tower?
you to turn and cast your spells like that, though. It's such a nuisance. It's kind of like getting mini stunned every time.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Gotta remember that vision range too. That was actually kind of disgusting.
Yeah. I'm not sure if you want to sacrifice your Alchemist life for that. That's the second
They're
consecutive
beating
fight
on
that he's
Dire's
died. And
top
Ramses
tower.
will start on Roshan. They don't have the Weaver there for the minus armor, so it's going to go down a bit slower.
Are they anywhere
should.
nearby? Like IGV are a long way out.
They suspect it right now, but I think they're a little bit too far away. Weaver's already closing in, but Roshan's at 25% HP.
They have the smoke for extra movement speed, but it's too late. So the boss understand what's going on, and then instantly Stampede over the hills. They want to get a kill. Pasha missing on the stop. IGV, they got some distance. Pasha doing some chip damage to Burning, but it's still not enough to find the kill. Everyone is out for IGV, Courier included.
If you think Firefly's good.
Stampede balance, boys.
Wow, I'm surprised they just didn't lose everyone. That's just not something that you think, oh, Roshan is that, oh, wait, they're on top of our Ancients.
That's
already.
the 4-stars you're talking about. You've got the 2 4-stars plus the Hurricane Pike up and running. And you've got the Aghanim which has been gifted to the Night Stalker. So now there's the extra vision. The first Ags has been gifted. So with this vision from Q, they can see the stampeding targets running at them.
Super important. I think they would have just lost the Silencer immediately on the back of the fight. So who do you give Ags next to?
It's got to be the Lunar upgrade, right? Like you need more damage out of her.
Probably, but you also could use a control out from the Batrider.
The double lasso?
Yeah. That could be useful.
Well, for now, IGV will just take the useful kill of the tier 2 tower on
is
bot.
under attack.
Creep wave's coming in a little bit late, so it may not matter. The mid lane keeps pushing in. VP trying to get some space. There's Lil who's taking care of the top. He's so close to that Aghanim Scepter. 300 gold and he's got it, but IGV already starting the attack.
Not much
Okay,
good's
he's going to actually
happening to
sell up so we can get the
Radiant's
Aghanim Scepter for this fight. Keep your eyes over on that Weaver. Bottom tier 3 towers still being chipped out. They look for a target. They find one. Pasha into line. Really focused on keeping the Centaur out. And now with the Blade Mail, they don't want to really fight into this, or do they? Range expanded. BKB down for the Luna. Arrow again will fly astray. Looks like a tough attacking into the tier 3 tower.
Very dangerous without the BKB on the Luna. And they still have the Aegis on the side of VP, remember. So deciding to cut it all. They could lose everyone here if they decided to press.
They want to fight from the high ground. They want to fight from a better position. They know the mid lane's going to push in anyway. The arrow goes for a bit of a scout. They see a little bit of the back lines. But will they get more? Ramsey stands on the front line. Now his Rage going to wear off. With the flip. They need to come in. With the side roll, it's going to be enough damage to clean it around. VP taking too much damage. We need to bail out of here. Ramsey's is down. Just brought down the element.
Double kill.
Clearing the tree line. And IGV with a buyback coming out from the Alchemist. He buys the actually keeps into the green wave. They're not all out home and host yet. No one caught. The Aegis the Immortal will trigger. His blink dash will be at cooldown as he comes back right again. Can they control him? The BKB, the leap to Starfall. He needs more speed, he needs more distance. 2 seconds, 1 second, the Urn charges on him. He can't blink into the tree lines. Even if the BTs are available for him, he's on the run, wasting the time of Virtus Pro. While they chase him, they're not taking rack. TP begins, but the Lunar people cancel it. No one is down. Buys back straight away. Here to defend the bottom lane. That's where the Alchemist is pressuring. The Green Wave, however, is not inside the base. So the backdoor regeneration is stopping IGV from taking the objective they want dearly.
And only 25 seconds left on the lifesteal respawn. This might not be enough for IG Vitality to seal the deal.
They may just try and force the global stance off cooldown in 20 seconds time. They'll have that, but the smoke
Radiant have
is
fortified
over
their
on Solo
structures.
as well as Pasha.
Radiant's
They
bottom
want
tower
the
is
opening.
under attack.
Fortification buys more time. No one. Blink into
Radiant's
sample,
bottom
link straight back
tower
out
is
again, trying to
falling.
sort out the creep wave, but now the Blades, they really start having a big effect. Pasha, that's meant to get the stop off. The
Radiant's bottom
BKB
barracks are
protected,
falling.
and Luna, the TP away, gets what he wants, away with murder. Burning will die, but a next second will casualty the arrow. Wow. Dodging at the last second. Extra TP completion. IGV get out. Burning your only sacrifice.
Oh, that was what a pleasure to watch IG Vitality push high ground like that, and the BKB dodge from the Luna, all eyes on the melee Rex, and she forced that a little bit away just so she could keep it out safely, making great use of that BKB. And they had such a small window to do that, and it's very similar to how VP pushed high ground and Alchemist fought back with 20 seconds left on his respawn timer, and maybe they should have done the same. Actually, they didn't have it in Life Stealer, but it was still just a tiny window for them to work with.
IGV, they're playing some of the smartest Dota we've seen of them this entire Boston Major. Finally, the Alchemist is going to 6-slot himself out, so while he might think about a moonshot, he ends up selling off the Blade Mail, picks up the Shiva's Guard instead. Already gave one Aghanim Scepter over, so one for me, one for you.
And maybe the Batrider isn't the best idea because of the time lapse. He used a time lapse on the last target last night. It didn't end up saving the Life Stealer, but it was still
VP's
nice
coming.
touch.
Only the Alchemist Illusions they run through. Oh no! No one initiated on the Alchemist Illusion. The one that went backwards. It didn't break anything, but it was the Moonlight Shadows, so they can't really know it like you do with smoke.
Yeah, and IG Vitality, they just need to weather the storm during the daytime, or just wait for Night Stalker ult to be up. It's so hard for VP to take a fight. It's very hard to jump the Silencer. It's very hard to jump the Luna before she pops her BKB.
And she can complete a Skadi pretty soon as well, so then she's going to have even more sustain.
Yeah. Yeah, she is. And Life Stealer, this is about the time where you don't really feel as effective as a Life Stealer just because everyone else has their items and scales so much better. Luna has +6 glaives, and what does Life Stealer have? Just a little bit of lifesteal from the feast. That's percentage based, but in terms of straight scaling, not that much, especially when he's forced to go much more defensive with AC. No Basher, no Abyssal, no MKB.
So IGV, the ones in control, but well, we already felt like we had that position before. This is a very different scenario, however.
This is much safer for them because they have so much more wiggle room. They have much more wiggle room because they have a lot more farm, and also they don't have to amp damage to instantly kill people. The Weaver takes a lot more time to ramp up with the Swarm and double hit from Sakuchi. Like all these take a lot more time, and this just doesn't have the right quick damage.
Didn't even see a little bit really that effective. I thought with the Aghanim Scepter it was IGV who were going to be denied the kill, but never even felt the influence of that Ags in the last fight.
Yeah, it briefly broke the lasso, but it suffers in the fact that what if everyone on your team is taking damage? What if Luna is just cleaving everyone down? What if everyone's getting hit by Eclipse with no creeps around? She can only do so much. And if you do that, you can't actually time-lapse yourself, so you can't really go in as deep as you want to. The cooldown's very low, but not low enough to use it twice in that short of a span.
IGV is coming once more. Top lane's pushing out for them. It's not as far out as they would like.
It's nighttime though. This is where they just need to. It's very easy for VP to make a mistake, and it's very hard for IG Vitality to be caught off guard now. And then they can just wait it out until the Roche spawn if they really want to feel safe. But in the meantime, if they don't, they can just try and pressure with this superior vision and the gem up on the Night Stalker.
They can wait 50 gold now. In fact, now no gold, because Alchemist found a bounty rune. The secondary act is on its way. And we'll see who he chooses. Is it going to be the control of the Batrider? Is it the increase of the magical damage of the Luna, not to mention the increase of stats that come along with it?
I think the Luna. That Eclipse is ridiculous. Although, maybe you don't want to all-in on it because of the Centaur ultimate. He can just use it to somewhat counter the Eclipse.
Angela is hugging. He wants it.
Radiant's top
him.
tower is
There's the
under
Batrider.
attack.
So the Batrider is now just over
top tower has
1900
fallen.
in his life with the Ether Lens and the double lasso. VP could find both of their cores taken out by this, and that's what IGV are looking for.
And how do VP fend off this? First, they're trying to set up with an observer ward right outside their base. That's how oppressive the one right next to their T3 tower. That's how oppressive the Night Stalker vision is. Like you just can't see anything.
But that's going to go down the second Night Stalker gets in close. VP saw the TP of the Alchemist again. It's been happening a lot from Sakatai. He just keeps jumping back into the lane in perfect vision. And VP come out, they look for a fight. They think there's an opportunity where the fight will be 4v5.
And no BKB on the Batrider, so maybe he can be bursted down by the Mirana. I think that's a hero that you actually want to kill very early on in the fight, or else Napalm and the Flame Break is just very difficult to maneuver around in the fights.
But without counter push, no one's been having to be like expending his double Starfall just to get rid of a creep wave.
Yep.
And even that's not effective enough.
Let's see if Angelai can get a jump over here.
I was hoping for one.
Yeah, they need to deward that Observer Ward. I don't think that Night Stalker has caught glimpse of it. He hasn't been in gem range just yet.
Yeah, it's too far away. A little bit deceptive, where his night vision is actually bigger than the true side of the gem.
And Burning dropping some vision on the right side just in case VP route around. But with a Night Stalker vision and no smoke, it should be very clear as to where they are.
It's chip time. If VP can defend this, maybe they have a chance. Roshan's a minute away, but they'll need to win this fight pretty convincingly in order to do such a thing. And they're still having the issue of the other lanes bottoming and again. Alchemist takes a lot of damage with the stuns. Global silence being used. Alchemist to retreat away. Not to mention FD Illusion's actually working really well and popping the Luna. Fighting against him. Now the lasso is out, but quickly again. Lil on the money. Able to get that time lapse out thanks to the Aghanim Scepter. Useful for his allies. And IGV will back out. They're playing safe.
They cannot underestimate the Soul Catcher. The Soul Catcher almost killed Alchemist. 50% more damage from this heavy of a burst Mirana can just drop you. And it's not like he has BKB. It's not like any of his teammates have Glimmer Capes. So if he takes burst, he's just going to straight up die.
Very problematic. IGV, they know what's at stake. There's no reason to risk the fight. They back out. They wait for the next Roshan, which now will be spawned up. So they can grab the Aegis Immortal. This gives a little bit more of a license to push. And a little bit more of a safety net with potentially the Luna. That's where your eyes can go for this. Maybe Burning. He's taking a hell of a lot of damage.
Yeah, I'm not actually sure he's giving to. I think the cores are actually just too farmed.
Luna would like have to drop a Mana Star in order to pick it up herself. She got the pipe.
Immortality! We haven't seen the last of him.
For her.
Q will take the cheese. Or maybe they just wait for her to die. Burning is now the carrier of the Hurricane Pack.
And now they have to fend off one heavy lane seed from these two farm heroes, as well as Manta Illusion on both of the side lanes. Shadow Demon is actually pretty good against this. He can disrupt the Manta Illusions and have pretty strong ones himself, but their base is just in shambles right now.
Looks like Sakata's actually building a different item. I think that's actually... Is he going for a heart? Normally you think maybe he's just going to go for another Aghanim Scepter with another 5k gold sitting in his bank account.
It could be an Abyssal.
I think it's certainly... Yeah, that would work.
It's more likely to be an Abyssal because yeah, I think it's an Abyssal.
We're going off the vid boost, which is on the Dire Courier. That's what we're looking at the moment.
I don't think you want to get
there it is.
hard versus the Lifestealer.
It's a straight Abyssal Blade.
So this way they can keep the Lifestealer off of the Luna. Now that he has MKB, the Luna has to be slightly worried about getting bursted down. Not too worried though.
Luna's got to start worrying about being copied all the time. Her illusions are doing more work right now, and here it is again. Solo the last two, we caught two, combining over the global silence. Silence can only save one. And while Pasha was not that one, but Burning, the damage output is getting to end the illusion. They go back in again for the fight. Maybe with the Rage Life Stealer and the Eclipse damage. He tanks through most of it. Pasha back here, up the buyback, gets us on over on the Luna, and IGV are in retreat. They force off out. Is there enough damage? He only triggers the Wicked Spear with Concoction. So IGV, they lose 3. None of them have buyback. It's no one with a triple kill. But the lanes are in disarray. The mid and the bottom still pushing heavily.
And this is pretty tense. Like, even at the start of the fight, you see how Shadow Demon just blinked in the middle of them, down the hill, and disrupted a Luna, because he knows that if he gets that off, he's just doing so much damage at the fight. And they were able to kill the Luna. They tank the Eclipse very, very easily. The Stampede actually just makes them almost unkillable, so that Lifestealer can just straight run in on the Luna and have 100% uptime on her.
So this 5-man maneuver from IGV, we've seen it fail, and we know why it fails. What's the game plan? Is it split? Like, obviously, you gotta survive this push to start with.
First, you force out a Luna buyback. If you force out a Luna buyback, you can try and kill her one more time, which I think can easily be done.
VP, here they come in. They look at the range ranks. Arrow flies in, Burning. Don't play a game of catch. Manages to dodge it, but bottom. Rack's completely mopped up. VP started this whole shebang about 25 minutes ago, and now they have to get more. 40 seconds until Alchemist is up. Luna still not going to buy back. IGV, they're going to accept the casualty of 2 lanes of Rack. Thanks to tier 2 tower up on top lane, VP can't go for much more unless they are thinking about going to tier 4 towers. But no, they take the melee and they're going to retreat. This will balance out the lanes for them.
And I don't really know who has the lead right now. IG Vitality, they've, like, Alchemist has been capped for quite some time now, and their cores are dying to this very, very farm Lifestealer, and they can still push out the lanes because of the Mirana, and they can tank in the team fight because of the Centaur. So, that fight, there was a very good last step from the Batrider. But time lapse, gets rid of one.
And the fact you actually had the instant buyback available for Pasha. Like, VP were ready. They knew what they had to sacrifice to win that fight.
And that was with the help of the Aegis. So I think they actually just need to straight kill the Shadow Demon at the start. Shadow Demon or Last Wing of the Weaver would both be pretty good for them. If they can actually keep 2 heroes inside the lasso and burst them down with a BKB Eclipse, I think they can win the fight.
Well, right now they're looking for a kill. 4-man smoke maneuver. The Alchemist, the only one not invited to be involved, but he can BT into the lane. Maybe not so much when you got Mirana and Lifestealer illusions. Just, well, if you can't find an army of real people, send in the copies.
Yeah, now they use Moonlight Shadow, fully expecting a gank, and
is Cube walking in? He's got the Gem of True Sight. Remember, this is nighttime, so Q has the better vision. Sees Lil jumping out. Okay, someone's going to have to get rid of that Observer Ward.
Yeah, no one has a quality at this stage.
Well, let's jump in. Solo once again gets it. They have to get the copies of the Luna. They're bailing out with the Purge over on the Luna. The BKB will protect everything they threw at him, but that's the BKB down for Luna. Can IGV force to disengage VP with a better start to the team fights?
He has to BKB that. If he doesn't, he might get arrowed and then just die. And that would just put IG Vitality in too much of a compromising position. But now they have 35 seconds without the BKB up on the Luna. But you just see how vulnerable it is and how crucial it is for the Shadow Demon to jump on the Luna and get the disruption off as soon as possible.
Solo almost feels like the modern day Venomancer. If I get my Nova off, life is great. If I get my disruption off, life is great.
Yeah, it's just puts way too much pressure on the side of IG Vitality to really feel like they're ahead if that's the way the fight starts off.
IGV, are you going to try and fight this? The tier 2 tower has already dropped. They're looping it around the side. VP does have all 5 arrows coming down as well as the bugs. Paparazzi able to find the gap between both of them. With the 4 staffs, double 4 staffs, pushing in July forward. Now remember, he doesn't actually have the detection. The Geometry Sight's over the Night Stalker, and that's why Mirana, E-Blade pops July, losing so much life, but where is this initiation with the global silence? IGV wanted. They have misplaced on the Lifestealer. Armlet is turned off, but now it's VP with the arrows to find the Alchemist, to push him away. He's got his gun, but they're both raced up. They'll try and dodge with the Manasol. One is successful, but the Luna, she must do lifting, and the last throw still not enough work. No one's dropping down low. They make more copies. They can follow with this blink into disruption, making more Lunas at the front line. Where's the damage? Luna's down. The Alchemist is still surviving. The Weaver Fox making life difficult. Not to mention Randy still on his tail. A missile by backup cooldown. Buyback is here. Mirana on the front line with the out spray. Dodging off with the Manasol. And finally falling down. That's done it. Maybe he can bring down Randy.
Triple kill.
Triple kill. Gonna ride this battle. Jeez, IGV wants to keep going. Look for the opening. They found another one. It's Mirana leaping away. But with all these deaths, no buyback available for the Centaur. It's there for the Lifestealer. Ramses will expend the pennies. They have to defend this top lane.
Oh my god, so Kata played so damn well that fight, just hiding at critical HP throughout the entirety and getting Lifestealer killed in. But with no buybacks on the table, Mega Cubes within grab.
The Solo gets more copies. He gets the copies of the Alchemist. In July, he's got the lasso available to jump in. He found his target. It's the SC. Time lapse ends up saving him from the initiation. They have to keep doing more damage. This Rack must fall. Where's the opening? With the stun, Ramsey is down. The Glaze is doing work. And he is down. No buyback available. The Racks have fallen. It's not Megas. There's still range Racks left in the mid as well as the bottom. IGV looking to remove that back from Alchemist. Ramsey trying to knock him down with the E-Blade pop with the infestation. They find the kill, but Luna still up and fighting. They're focusing on Ramsey with a glaze bouncing around. Lil waiting on the back line. Buyback is here. Alchemist to the front line. Paparazzi, Holden, take a picture. Will he get it? Lil, solo on life, running out. Q wants to finish him off. Almost found under the tower. He'll bring him down. But the Night Stalker sacrificed himself. Lil has his buyback available. Now the Alchemist. Paparazzi, they spend more space, but you've lost the Alchemist into the tree line with the BKB. Is there a TP? There isn't one. No life available. And no buybacks. IGV with only the Batrider as well as the Silencer alive. They're on the ropes for VP.
And it's not even Mega. That one range wreck on the bottom and 100 seconds on both the heavy cores on IG Vitality.
But look at in July. He pushes in through the top lane. He's trying to get VP to look behind him.
He can't Mega them himself.
He can't, but maybe there can be some defense. No one jumps in. There's your E-Blade pop. A quick push away. BT's is available in July. He has to give up the ghost. He looks down at Lil, who's already knocking on the IGV well. And they going, yeah, they are. They're going for the GG push. And there it is. IGV will call it. VP will eliminate the Chinese Vitality from the Boston Space 2-0. The IGV, huge props. They put up one hell of a fight, more than anyone could have thought they could do up against Virtus Pro, a team many picked to win this whole thing.